right?
And we are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, and today I am with the one and only, the Colombian mauler, Tony Carrizosa. Tony, what's going on, brother?
All good, Fly. Another cloudy day in Costa Rica, buddy.
Well, ironically, we were just talking about how old we were, how we can't
Yeah,
see the computer screen without our glasses.
I know.
What?
It's like, everybody makes feel like they catch you with the phone out like this, like trying to reach out when you don't have your glasses.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the funny part. I'm about ready to go up in prescription because of the fact that I'm noticing I'm pulling the phone farther away, even with my glass.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It sucks. So you're back in Costa Rica?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir. Got home a couple days ago, actually. Yeah.
you went on quite a ride. Whole reason why I
It-
called you.
yeah. It was quite
You
the ride, man.
started sending me pictures. I don't know if you were trying to invite me or make me jealous, or you were sending me videos from the drop.
Yeah. Well, it was I
It
think you
was fucking
commented on
cool,
something.
man. It was
Well,
cool.
yeah, we got a lot of good material this year. I mean, we we decided we were going to try to get some footage of it because there's not much of this history of this fishery. I mean, you go back
No.
and it's,
It all happened prehistoric, back when they still used passenger pigeons to let people know we we made it to Bimini. And when your passenger pigeon gets home, your wife knew, okay, he's there. Not sure if
yeah,
he's ever coming back.
right, yeah, exactly.
So
So
let's
there's
start
a
from the
lot of
beginning. Where were
sure.
you? What were you doing? We're talking about all this old shit. And this is even before our time. So let's start from the very beginning. Where'd you go?
Uh, yeah, talking about before our time. This was like my introduction to sport fishing. Really was. I was young and got to go to Bimini, and that's how I fell in love with that fishery. So yeah, this year we went to Bimini, crossed over on the 15th of May. We had a plan to stay until the 7th of June. And the last week is always kind of weather pending. If you have the weather, great. If you don't have the weather, hey, let's go home, regroup, go to work, and maybe come back. But so this year was unreal. We had wind for like 12 days straight, which I don't ever. I think I have like 20 or 21 seasons on that edge. I don't recall that ever happening. We'd get a 3-day blow and they'd go flat calm for 4 or 5 days, and then we get 3 days of good wind or 2 days or an afternoon. But this was like, oh boys, we're going to be tuna fishing every day, and
Describe to
and
everybody what is the good wind over there, because depending on what you're fishing for or where you're at in the world, there's always different winds. So when you're tuna fishing off of Bimini and Cat, what is your preferred wind?
your preferred is going to be anything southeast to southwest, and then you can be marginal with a due east and marginal with a due west, like it's worth going looking. But you want 120 degrees to 240 degrees, something of that southerly push to and make a sea to get these fish to tail. And these bluefin love a free ride. They really do. Going
Everybody
back,
likes a free ride. Don't just give it to the bluefin, man. Listen, we could talk about politics now if you want. Everybody likes a fucking free ride.
that's all right. They get a paid ride, those guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of factors that got to come together for this to work. Number one is the team to do it. You got to have
Yeah.
the guy that wants to. Hey, and luckily we have that guy. He uh, the gentleman that have fished with the last 3 seasons, Chris Lynch. He did this back in the late '80s with Cookie Murray. He
Oh,
was his
wow.
mate for 2 seasons, and so he fell in love with it. I mean, he's a Massachusetts guy, so he's tuna fished his whole life, right? I mean, but he'd only done that in Bimini and Cat Key for 2 seasons, and obviously that bug was in him. And through a mutual friend, Ben Crago, he contacted me, and we started talking. And he went one year, just him and his buddies, and I don't think they had any conditions. They didn't see any fish really. And then we went back to Next year we had like a couple days of decent wind, and we saw a couple bunches of bluefin, but we didn't have a bite. And then we last year we had better conditions. We stayed a little longer. I think we put like 10 days in, and we saw a lot of fish. Had three bites that we did not connect with, and then there was this year, and it was biggest difference is we changed boats. Chris went out and bought a boat. So
What did he buy? What did he
besides,
buy?
so he owns a 46 Garlington that was built for him in like 22 or 23, and that's what we've been fishing with, an Express. And then he went and he bought it was the old Adams Folly. It was built as a
Oh,
Xiphios for Barcy Garnsey, and then it was
the
Adams Folly,
53?
the 53.
You know, I
Which,
worked on that boat for a year. I went giant tuna fishing out of Gloucester on that thing.
how about that?
Yeah.
With Jimmy or with who?
No, 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 no. I was working for Mark Blaze. It was after Jimmy.
Okay.
Jimmy
Wow.
and Mark Blaze, they swapped boats. Mark had the Monterey that became the Tuna Tango,
Correct.
and the Adams Folly became the Nancy Ann.
How about that? How
Yeah.
about that? That boat's special, man. I mean,
That boat, that boat is fucking and then it later became the Sweet Thing.
correct. And Salem
Yeah.
Wolf, and then it was Knick Knack with that. Alex Nomer had it in Palm Beach, and
Yeah.
he did the refit on it. That boat's beautiful.
You know how much it cost Roy to build that thing, or when they sold it, when they built it the first time in, oh my God, was that 73?
77, I think it was.
It was
77 is a brand, yeah.
it was 4.25, brand new. 4.25, brand new.
How about that?
That's fucking unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it is unreal, man. I mean, the boat's really nice.
Yeah.
So now here we go. All right, we're back on the merit boat. You know what? This is what
That's
and
what
I
they
told
were
him, all
made
right,
for,
Chris.
man.
I was like, we're going on a merit boat. We got to have the load. We got to take the riggers off. We're gonna go tuna fishing.
Yeah.
And funny enough, we got up there and May 17th. We've been looking all day. I got Lance Hightower. He came with me this year, first time ever doing it.
Lance Romance?
Yeah, it's romance. Yep.
Get
Yep.
the fuck
He,
out of here. Cool.
yeah, he was one of those situations where we're sitting in my office, and he's like, man, I really, I've always worked with people who had done it and heard all about it, and I just never got a chance to do it. Like, if you want to do it, I could use the help. I'll float your ticket to get there, and
Yeah.
just come fishing with your buddy.
Yeah.
So, we get there. And going back to what you have to make this work, besides the guy that wants to do it and fund it, you got to have the wind. You got to have the right current, which is to the north. You got to have sunlight. You got to have clean water. And then you got to have the fish, right? Because these tuna are migrating no matter what. Whether
Yeah.
it's calm,
And
flat, north wind, east wind,
and
dark moons,
and you got to
sun,
get them to
whatever.
pass by that alley now, because it seems like they're going everywhere the last 2 decades.
So yeah, I think that's in their DNA, and not all of them go through there. I'm sure there's plenty swimming by offshore. And you just saw a recent video of a diver filming them up on the bank, and that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's no fences, as we all know. So that's a lot of factors, and we're sitting there, and if anyone that's ever talked to me about this knows the passion I have for it, because it's my favorite thing
Yeah.
in the world to do, and so I'm
Your
telling
is
about
your
how beautiful
your
the alley
email used
looks.
to be like tunatony at
It is,
AOL.com.
yeah, yeah. It's
Is it still
still is.
Tuna Tony?
Yeah, it's still Tuna Tony.
Fuck.
Yep,
I can't
yeah.
remember what I ate for breakfast today, but I can fucking remember your email address from 30 years ago. Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Long time, Fly. Yeah,
Yeah. Go
yeah.
visit the doctor. When was your last bowel movement? Man, I really don't remember. But I remember Tony's email from 30 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So you sit there and you tell them how beautiful that edge is. To me, I mean, I've never been to the reef, and I'm sure that's amazing and beautiful. But this is just different. It's
Yeah.
I've been through the Bermuda Cut, heading to the Challenger Blank. That's amazing. That's beautiful. But I haven't seen an edge in the world that's set up like this. And so I'm sitting there and I'm building it up. I'm talking it up. I get Lance down there, and sure enough, the water's dirty. You can hardly see the alley. I'm like, oh, man. And he's only there for like a handful of days, right? So May 16th, the wind started to blow in that afternoon. I think we deep dropped out a couple of yellow eyes, and we got out, looked, nothing happened. Chris flies in the 17th. We wait for him. Wind's blowing. We go. We look all day, man. I mean, it's like I haven't seen a fish. It's like 3:50 in the afternoon or so, and here comes a single. Guys, watch right here. I think I just saw it. Oh, sure enough, there it is. It's a single fish, and you know, get turned around on him, get a race up ahead of him, and lose sight of him in as on the run back, running him down, and that's where the old Danny Barry, all the years of working with Danny, is like, pay attention on the sunny days. So on the cloudy days, you know where to put your bait, right?
Yeah.
And in other words, when you lose them or when there's a cloudy day and you can't see them. And I just got, all right, Lance, look right here. He should be right here on the outside edge of the alley coming in. Him on. I'm like, holy crap. I was like, what? I looked down. I didn't believe him. I looked down. I was like, holy shit, we got him on. Race offshore and yeah, end up catching that fish in about 25, 30 minutes, and we called it right around 500 pounds and cut it loose. And I'm like, you got to be the luckiest motherfucker in the world. I mean, I've been doing this a long time and I've never had a bite out of a single. And it's the first one you ever see and you catch on the Bimini. It's like, come on. So
I'd rather be lucky than good, man.
That's my base. I say that a lot. Fly in my career, I've used that a lot. So I climb back up at the tower and Chris is already up there, and get up there and I look at him. He's like, well, shit, Chris, all I could do was buy a mirror boat.
Yeah. Fuck. Old man Allen was looking down on you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I sent Roy a text. He's like, yep, just caught one, on one of your boats. So, and that just went on to, that was the beginning of a roll, we had the weather every day, it was the thing about tuna fishing is always a curveball. All right, we got the wind, we don't have the clean water. All right, we get the water cleans up, it's a cloudy day. It's tough to see. So it's not easy. And that's what keeps a lot of people probably from doing it.
You got to be patient. You got to be patient. You're just sitting there looking. You don't even have a fucking bait in the water. You're just sitting there. You're just looking.
Yeah, it's funny because when I started doing this was like the early 90s and there was still a handful of boats still fishing there, Peter B and Gary Stews, the Fred Stone, trying to think who else, Danny Bear, John Sabonis, a lot of these guys that's what they waited for all year to go do this. And then go off and wherever they reef or St. Thomas or whatever, man. And to see what people now that yellowtailing or diving and deep dropping looking, I was like, what are these guys? They don't even have outriggers, what's one rod,
Yeah.
What the hell are they doing? Cruising up and down the alley all day. They're probably looking at it sideways, have no idea what's actually swimming by their boat.
It's totally amazing because you're talking about some really, really big fish and they don't care how deep the water is. They don't give a rat's fucking ass. Oh, you got to be out in 1,000 foot. No, you got to be in 100 fathoms. You got to.
Nope.
They don't give a shit. They're just cruising, man.
Nope. It's cruising. So it's a sight to see. I still think Tuna Alley is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. When it's lit up, beautiful. Alex Adler said it best. Well, he's one of the other legends I forgot to mention. He says, "Oh, the alley's electric today," and that stuck with me. He said that I don't know how many years ago, and I heard him saying on the radio, "Alley's electric." I'm like, that's exactly a good description. When it's lit up, beautiful.
You talk about a legend like Alex. He's gotten really good on catching them on the migration down.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they're going into the Gulf of Mexico, he's gotten really fucking enough to usually he's catching one or two every year in the Keys as they're swimming into the Gulf to spawn.
That's correct. And I only one time fishing with, I think it was with Zigger, where I saw him off of like Triumph Reef, way back when. But I don't know if I think it's the population, really. It's grown like, wow. And I hear this from Cookie, who fishes up north, and he's a nerd when it comes to this. He follows, he talks to the scientists, he's an encyclopedia of giant bluefin, and he said there's more now than there's ever been, and I believe him. Last year was a testament to that. We had marginal conditions and we were seeing a lot of fish, It was I think we had 3 days we saw more than 11 bunches.
Wow.
or right at 11 bunches in a day. It was like, God, they were, and it was marginal conditions, like just enough sea, more of a swell than a chop. You know what I mean? And we were turning on fish all day long.
Ironically, I fished for them in the early part of my career, but I didn't get consistent into fishing for bluefin until about 11 years ago, where I've gone every year now. And 12 years ago, I started volunteering for fisheries management in with NOAA and National Marine Fisheries, and now ICAT. And
Yeah.
bluefin is a huge part. Well, fuck, ICAT is the International Coalition of Conservation of Atlantic Tuna. So you see, I've been able to, for lack of better terms, rub elbows with the scientists, the managers, the stakeholders, and I have had the opportunity to fly, no pun intended, all over the world and not only fish for them, but watch them go from the fishermen all the way to the fish house in Japan. And so over the last 12 years, I've been completely enthralled with it. I fished a tournament last year in Croatia for bluefin. I fished one in Monaco 2 years ago. Rome, I think 6 years ago, right before COVID, I fished a tuna tournament in Rome. Coolest
Wow.
fucking tournament in the world, dude. It's
Really?
listen, European culture is totally different than fucking American or South American culture. And just to give you an idea, and listen, ladies, don't come after me. I'm just repeating what happened after the second day of fishing. We've all fished tournaments where you have like a happy hour
Yeah, of
or
course.
you have a barbecue. They had a second day lingerie show in Rome.
Well,
My
we,
man,
so
my
we need to
man.
dub that out of the podcast, and then you need to
No, no,
invite
no.
me.
We don't dub shit, dude. I do not
Oh yeah, I
edit.
don't get funny looks. I
I,
say, I'm going
I
to
I
Rome,
don't
honey.
give. Listen, I had some guy call me up. Some guy from that fishes the World Cup. He called me up the other day. He's like, "Man, I've been listening to your podcast." I'm like, "Man, I appreciate it. Thank you." He goes, "My favorite part is I never know what the fuck you're gonna say."
Right?
So
Yeah,
I
a
don't,
lot of people say that
whatever,
about
come
me
after
too.
me. Listen, I'm just repeating what happened. Anyway, let's get back to the tunas and
Yeah,
not lingerie.
yeah,
I'm too old. I might have a heart attack. Uh, it's just amazing. Here's this fish that is everywhere. They're
yeah,
everywhere. It's prized more than anybody could
yeah.
ever imagine. I never
Well,
realized how prized they were. I always, growing up, listen, when I first started fishing, my first or second year I was in Nantucket, and this was at the height of the Japanese economy. And these guys were talking about, yeah, man, my fish came back. I got $47 a pound. And I was like, holy shit.
yeah,
And it was nuts. And then
yeah.
now, economies go up and down, but I never realized how prized this fish is and how much people fight for these fish stocks of bluefin tuna. So the fact that they're making a comeback, and listen, it's up and down the East Coast. They've talked about we have two different stocks, East Atlantic and West Atlantic. Now they're starting to change their mind on that.
Yeah.
I every year when I'm in Nova Scotia, Barbara Block is up there, and she's doing her tag a giant, and it's amazing because she's like most of these fish, not most of them. We've realized that these are med stock fish and Gulf of Mexico stock fish, so they're transatlantic
They're
now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And actually that might be a good thing for you to get me in touch with her because we let go 4 fish this year. And
Okay.
because you can't legally kill them until the 1st of June, being a American vessel in Bahamian waters. And the Bahamians are looking at us like, we really want some tuna. I'm like,
Yeah, but you can't.
I can't. Sorry guys, I don't want to get in trouble and much less get the boat in trouble or get Chris in trouble or.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll put you in touch with Robbie.
Okay.
Robbie's kind of like her right hand person. He lives right here in Florida. Super
Okay.
nice guy. I talk to Robbie every day during tuna season. Uh, Barbara, Charles Perry has a great relationship with Barbara. I have no issues with Barbara, but sometimes she's very protective of her scientific stuff and
Right.
uh, all that kind of stuff. So Robbie's just a little bit easier to get along with, and
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm happy to put you in touch with him.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. I mean, this was what happened this year. I don't know if it hasn't happened in my career since I've been doing it. I think I started doing this probably at the bottom end of the decline of the population. I mean, I don't recall. I'll have to go back in some of my logbooks when to catch me out. But I mean, there were days where we'd have great wind and see two bunches or three bunches, you know.
Wow.
And now we're got marginal conditions seeing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bunches. You know, it's like, wow. You
How
know, and
many
we're
on
not even.
average? How many are in your bunches on
So
average?
this year, I would say it was probably 10 to 12 fish.
Okay.
Last year was a lot more. Like we were seeing bunches of 100 plus fish, you know,
Wow.
just, I mean, as far back as you could see. I mean, like, it was to the point where bluefin are either ahead of us and next to us, and we're still baiting fish 350 feet behind the boat. You know, it's like, and we're this year. I mentioned this earlier. You know, we wanted to get some film, so we brought a drone guy with us. Guy's awesome, dude. JJ Slater. If you ever need a drone guy, man, this guy can do anything. Um, and it was cool to see how many fish we're seeing
And
and
how
how
many
many
are
fish
really
we're
there?
not seeing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, so as soon as we'd see him, you know, we get turned around and we'd slow the boat down, you know, bait speed, and he would deploy the drone, and we were trying to get the bite and the whole rundown on film, and unfortunately, we never got it, even though we caught fish. But it was always like, you know, a cloud would come up and we'd have headsets on. It's like, hey man, you know, I don't see him anymore. Do you have him? You know, and then he would, you know, get elevation and look, and yeah. You know, they're inside of you, and then every time that happened, boom, we get a bite out of fish
Yeah.
we weren't seeing, right? So, um, but what we learned was wow, you know, watching these things, the way they cruise, you know, like seeing them from the tower is a whole different perspective than seeing them from above them,
From the drone.
you know, and you know, back in the day, these people used planes, right?
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome. You know, I had the seaplane, and you know, if you get there's an old IGFA video, I think it's like in 1960 something, you know, where they're filming a boat called the Sambo. You know, I don't know if you ever saw that.
I,
It's on
I
YouTube.
I may have, but I remember hearing the name Sambo.
You know, and that one, a little bit of stuff we did back in like 20 between 2012 and 2014. We did, you know, Costa del Mar and Costa. You know, they funded a little documentary. Billy Harrison was in it, the Merritt family, and I don't know if you saw that one. It's called Bluefin on the Line, but you know, there
Is
isn't
that
a
the
lot of.
is that the one that Costa did a couple of years ago, or
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this
yeah.
one? Okay, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
saw
it's
that
like
one.
I think we did that one in like 2011 to 2012.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
when Amanda was still with Costa.
correct,
Yeah,
correct, and that was the start of a great friendship. You know, here's a girl I'd never met before, and she actually fell in love with it. She still contacts me like, "Hey, are you there? Are you going? What's the wind doing?" You know, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know,
that's
and
what fishing does, man.
yeah, she got some great pictures of us catching a fish that year that they were doing that filming, and they were on our old boat. You know, that was the old Catch Me Out, which then, you know,
That's the
Caliban. Now it's out in Kona.
that's the one that Ray Rocher was on, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
boat I fished on for many years with Bear and Sabonis. Um, and you know, we were a good team. We just if we would have had that team with what we had today,
Man,
like
Lance, he
it would
doesn't mean that, man. Lance, he doesn't mean that all the
no,
way.
no, no. I'm talking about like, I mean, it
I'm
was
just
the
I'm
boat, you know, like
I'm
we went
fucking
there
with
just to
you.
do that. You know, it was like we go stay 3.5 weeks in Bimini, you know, and we just there wasn't just a lot of fish and the weather. You know, there
Yeah,
were times. I remember one year we went, we hardly tuna fished. I was like, we have to go deep dropping again. I'm like, this
because the
could be
weather
things a
sucks.
break. It was flat calm, yeah, you know. And
Yep.
now this year was like, guys, I was like, wow, like 12 days in a row we had wind.
You can go.
We can go. And that
Yep.
I'll tell you what, that 53 Merit, that thing sat in the water like a duck.
That
because the
thing
last
was
those couple of days it blew 20
such a
plus.
cool boat.
And man, I was
I
like, no
love that
seakeeper.
boat.
But now it's wet. But man,
It's a
she's a
fucking
nice
merit,
fish.
dude.
She was wet, man. But talk about a platform. Wow. You
Yeah,
know,
no, no. All, especially them older ones, that 53. I worked on the 65, the real, when it was the real tight.
yeah.
Uh, and then we got the 80-foot uh, built while we were fishing on that one. But the 65 and the 53, it's literally like fishing on a piece of plywood.
Yeah,
You don't,
it
you
is.
don't, you don't bob. You don't weave. You
No,
just
you
kind
do this. It's just
of,
going on. Yeah.
it,
Yeah. It
it
was
was
amazing.
amazing. It was
It
an
really was.
amazing boat. I that I was, how old was I? I think I was like 21, and the owner of the boat, Alex says, "Hey, we were up in Montauk striper fishing. We did really well." He's like, "Hey, do you feel comfortable taking the boat out this week so we can catch some more stripers?" Because Alex Mark was going home, and I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah, not a problem." And you're 21 years old. You'll take the opportunity, but I wasn't hungry enough to ask for it, but I'll take
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
opportunity.
Sure.
And we were coming back from Shagwan, and Alex, Mark, and myself were up on the bridge, and Miss Nancy was inside sleeping on the couch, and she comes out. She goes, "Hey, what's that noise?" And just as she was coming out, because she was lying down on the couch on top of the engine, she started hearing it let go. And by the time she
Oh,
walked out, it fucking let go.
oh boy.
We snapped the crankshaft.
Wow.
Yeah, we had
What engine was that?
it was the Cummings in there.
Yeah.
It was the Cummings, and it was so violent, we didn't realize it until we took it apart that we cracked the block as well. Yeah, it
Good job.
was. Yeah, and listen, it was again, it was just one of those things. It was a bad bearing,
Yeah.
and but if I would have been running the boat, I might still be in therapy. I would be
Yeah. I
fucking.
hear you.
Oh my
I hear you.
God, first time taking a boat out. And I'll never
Yeah.
forget. I can't remember who, I want to say it was Dave from Ace Marine, but I'm not 100% sure. But he said, listen, take all the oil out and then drop the pan. So we did. He goes, now I was holding on to the phone back, no cell phones. We had a
Yeah.
cordless phone to the landline. And I'm talking to Dave and I'm yelling down at Mark. He goes, now reach your hand into that pan, and he wants to know if there's metal shavings. And he reaches in, and when he pulls out, there's clumps of metal. And Mark's like, no shavings, just clumps of metal. Oh
God,
my God, it was so fucking bad, dude.
that's bad.
It
That's
was
bad.
so fucking bad. But it was one of those things, even in my mind, still, uh, it's something I learned so much.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a horrible thing. We lost like 7 weeks that year, that
Oof.
summer. Yeah, it was
Oof.
horrible.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
horrible. And I was in oh my God, I was in Shelter Island.
Right.
So up in Long Island. So that I mean, there's nothing to do. You're 21 years old.
Right.
Nothing to do, man. It's not like being
It's
in St. Thomas.
no. Yeah. Yeah. No
Oh,
doubt.
hey, speaking of St. Thomas, so I got a chance to fish with Bubba Carter a few weeks ago, and
Oh,
we were
really? Where at?
at the OWC when I saw you down there.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. At the
Yeah,
end of Bisbee. Yeah. Yeah.
I had chartered Bubba, and we were telling the story of Freddie Potatoes. You were there that day on the dock with us, weren't you?
100%.
Okay, that's
100%. Oh,
because
yeah.
we were talking about who was on the dock, and I says I could swear it was fucking Tony and Johnny O.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was you and Johnny
Yeah.
O.
It was a
Bec-
bunch of us too. The eight
yeah.
ball. And, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I say you
Yeah.
say a bunch of us. There was like maybe 12.
Yeah, because it was the dark of the moon. We were all just hanging
No,
out.
no, no. It was
Yeah,
the beginning of it was the very beginning of the moon cycle. We hadn't started yet, but there was a handful of boats that were already starting like 12 or 14 days out.
right,
Whatever the number was, it was the dark for us.
right.
We still had like 3 days before we started, maybe even more than that. But there was because I remember when I walked out because we tripped a breaker and I walked out and I'm like, number one, where'd the sun go? Number two, holy shit, there's people on the dock. We're still waiting for fucking lunch.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for fucking lunch.
Freddy's potatoes. I make the potatoes, man.
I make the potatoes.
I
Let me
make the
know when you're
potatoes.
about 40 minutes out. That motherfucker waited 5 hours.
Oh, buddy, yeah, dude. Then we made
Fuck.
somebody made him the necklace of potatoes at
That
some
was
point.
me.
That was you.
That was me. Listen, he was docked right next to me. He was on the exile. And every day, Scott Steele kept getting, every morning I had to go get him a bologna sandwich. So every morning I'd buy a
Right.
fucking potato and I'd put it in his box. And then finally I made him the potato necklace.
Oh
And
yeah.
Cal Patty Dave was running the boat, not Luis. Luis was the
Yeah.
second or the first. And uh, they caught two fish real early. And Cal Patty Dev said, that necklace is lucky. You got to keep it on all day. By the end of the day,
That's
Freddie's like on that upsea tack at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when that sun is just beating on you. He goes, bro,
oh
that
man.
wax was killing my neck. Fucking killing my neck.
There's a lot of good memories from that season in St.
Oh
Thomas,
my
man.
God, that was fucking great. There was
So I think the best one was a movie when we all went to the movie theater together.
one I was talking to Bubba about that one too. I says, "Hey, that was the year we all went to see Perfect Storm."
Oh
And he
yeah,
goes,
it looked like the United
"It
Nations. You know,
was
the
it was
Venezuelans were over here, the Puerto Ricans were over here, the Gringos were sitting in the
it
back
was
over
you and
there.
I that went over to Cost You Less and got all the slave rum."
Correct.
Yeah.
And then we went up there. It's like, I need the biggest Coke you sell, and you had the rum
Yeah.
stashed in your pockets.
Yeah. We fucking
And then when
wobbling
that
in.
bottle was empty, we could
You
hear it
can hear it
rolling down the
rolling.
floor,
Yeah.
rolling down the floor of the movie theater. Ding, 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 ding.
The best part in that whole movie was when oh my God, Bugsy walked up to the fat ugly girl. And we all related to it.
Oh yeah, go ugly early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we all fucking related to it. But yeah, it
yeah.
was it
Oh
was the
yeah.
United Nations. You got the Puerto Ricans, you got the Venezuelans, you got all the white
Venezuelans.
guys.
Oh, it was
So it
hilarious. There
was
was a bunch of
fucking
us too,
oh
and
my
it
God,
wasn't planned. It wasn't.
no.
It's not like we all said, "Hey, let's all go." Like we had our group going, and then we get there, like, oh, there's all the
Every
Venezuelan crew,
everybody
and
was
there's all the
there.
Puerto Ricans. Everybody was there. It was like the first night we all had off, and it was
Let's
like
go
the
get
premiere
some
night or something.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
go get some rum so we can drink. And back
yeah,
there, the Crucian rum was only like $4 a bottle.
exactly. That's exactly what it was. It was cruising rum. Yeah,
It was Crucian rum. Yeah, that's why it,
yeah,
I was always taught because Croy was a slave island, and that's when they started the house where it started. Supposedly that was a slave house, and that's when I started going down there. Was
right.
they always called it slave rum, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but then again, I'm not old. Listen, I absolutely loved my time in St. Thomas. Fucking loved it. Uh,
Yeah.
it was something totally different. It seems like to me, and the world's gotten so much smaller. It seems like to me that Cape Verde has become that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got a chance to go fish over there a couple summers ago, and wow, what a place, man.
Who did you fish with?
Yeah. Marty,
Oh, did you?
and
And
Sammy.
Sam?
Yeah, went out. Yep, yep,
Yeah.
went out there, and I think Marty had just gotten to sonar, and Sam's like, "Hey, why don't you fly out there and you can help him out?" And I'm like, "Sure, absolutely," and that was a long travel day. So getting to St. Thomas is a hell of a lot easier than getting to Cape Verde, man.
Shut up, dude.
But
I'm used to that shit. That's an easy one.
yeah, so I remember getting there, and I've been traveling for 30 something hours, just the way everything worked out because when I got the invite, I already had a trip planned to Colombia, right? So I was like, all right, so I'm gonna have to leave Colombia a day early, get to Miami, and Miami to Lisbon, Lisbon to anyhow. So by the time I get there, I've been like, I'm beat. And taxi drops me off, and there's Rob Ruich waiting on me at the in the parking lot. And I'm like, all
Really?
right, cool. Yeah. I hadn't seen Rob since I worked for him on the Sharky's Revenge 20 something years ago, you know? And I'm like, all right, cool, man. Like he grabs my bag and we start going down the dock. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm staying on the boat. You know, I get there, motors are running. I'm like, we're going fishing.
We're
It was
gone.
like it was like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, wow, all right, damn, I could really use some sleep. But anyhow, I get
There's
up on
a
the bridge.
listen, there's a fucking couch on the boat. Go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, but like you're just getting there, Cape Verde, your first day fishing. The last thing you want to
Yeah.
do is fall asleep. So I'm up there on the bridge with Marty about 2 hours in. I was like, Marty, I'm like, I have to go lay down. You know, I'm like, my body's like shutting
Dying.
down. Yeah,
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 no, no, I get it.
you know. So I wasn't laying down for a minute. There's one on the teaser. Like I'm like, all right, I guess that was no rest there. Yeah. But what a place! What an amazing
How
place.
many how many days did you fish with Marty?
Maybe 5, 6
Okay.
days, something like that. You know.
Fuck, that's a long way to
Um,
go just for 5 days.
it was just for the World Cup, really, because
Oh, okay.
Sammy was leaving, and and then yeah, that was it. So
Okay. Yeah, I was supposed to go in May of 2020.
wow.
And
Oh yeah,
we all know what
shut
happened.
down.
I had
Oh
it
yeah,
I had my tickets, I had everything. And since then I've had a couple of opportunities. Hey, can you go? But it's my schedule, you
that was a
know.
great year for Marty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Man, when I talked to Sam when I had him on the podcast, they sent him a picture of the fish. Marty was saying, it's like 650. And Sam's looking at it. He goes, wait a second. From that chair to the covering board is X amount, and that fish is almost the entire way. He goes, no, man, that fish is like 76, 78 inches in girth. And it was like nine something.
that was a big one.
It was
That
a
was a big one. Yeah,
real big one. It
yeah,
was a
yeah.
real big one.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to go back for
I
sure.
had, I listen, I'll make it one day. I'll make it one day. Next time you go, but call me first. I'll let you, over the years, I have strategically figured out what airports I want to lay over so I can take a shower, where,
Lisbon,
where I want to stay. Because sometimes,
Lisbon.
well, Lisbon's okay.
Yeah, I
Uh,
had a great time there. I was only there for a night. I had a great
I've
time.
stayed in Lisbon a couple of times. Where because I do so much stuff in the Middle East and Indian Ocean, I always stay over in Doha.
Ah, okay,
If you ever now, I fly One World, so I'm on Qatar Airways. Listen, if I wasn't One World, I'd do Emirates, so I can stay in Dubai.
right.
Because the city is just fucking awesome. But being Qatar's a cool little city. It's just not partied up like Dubai. But if you can stay for a night or two and go up uh, to the little center and you walk around and there's so many cool restaurants and great open air markets to buy stuff and if you know where you're going, if you go right under, there's like an underground little tunnel, a walkway tunnel.
Mhm.
Once you go underground to the other side, you go from all these old castle looking open air markets to a full-fledged like Dubai Mall.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean
Ah,
you can go to all the open air stuff and go buy stuff and go to the cool restaurants and I definitely always eat over there. And man, one night I might eat Iraqi food, then I'll have Persian food, then I have Syrian food. So I highly
very
recommend.
diverse.
Yeah, and then you make your next connection, especially after you've been on a plane for like 16 hours. You want to get the fuck off,
Oh, yeah.
bro. You want
Oh
to
yeah.
get the fuck off.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
unless you just have a quick turnover, but like last year I went to the Maldives And you go 16 hours, and the next thing you know, you still got another 6 hour flight. Well, I want to get off. I want to stretch my legs, take a shower,
Sure,
take a
sure,
nap.
sure.
I'm a fuzzy fella, man. I like to fucking
Make your
spit.
cafecito.
Oh, bro. It's so funny because when I'm in Saudi Arabia, I bring all my Cuban coffee stuff. They're
I know
like,
you do. You brought it here all the
bro, I
time,
go everywhere with my shit. The only
right?
place I don't is when I go to Japan.
Oh, yeah, I just got a text from the only guy sitting on the edge out here looking. Wind is east, southeast, best we've had all week.
Nice.
Unbelievable. One boat, and this is Brian Shepard, he was with me also last year, and he was with us. He actually caught the fish in the chair.
And
The
you,
first fish we caught.
how many did you bait overall?
I
Uh-oh.
got that here. Let me. I kept a log here.
You kept a good log.
Yeah, let me see here. Bimini 2026. We saw 40 bunches, 14 pairs, 13 singles in 11 days. So,
That's a lot of fish.
yeah. And then the year before that, we saw like, I think it was 46 bunches. And they were bigger, like the amount of fish in the bunch were a lot more last year. But like something we were just talking about, like the amount of miles you fly to go big game fishing, right? Cape Verde, Azores, you
Everywhere.
name it.
Yeah.
Ascension, 49 miles from Miami for
How cool is that?
for a totally different experience. You know, I mean,
It's and listen,
it,
there was a time that was the destination to go for big game.
it was the pinnacle. I mean, the guys from the reef would wait till May and June. They're like, oh,
To
we
come
want to go
over.
to Bimini. Yeah, 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 yeah. All the
I had
Australian mates that used to work for these guys.
I had Peter Bristow on a few weeks ago, and he was telling me how the first time he went to he went to fish with Peter, and how awesome it was, and to see the boats and see the tackle. He's like, we didn't
yeah,
have tackle like that down here. We never
yeah.
had tackle down like that down here until we went to Fish Cat, and we realized, oh my gosh, look at these fin oars, look at uh, these internationals. If you got somebody that you got to say hello to, go ahead and say hello. It's
No,
okay.
it's actually my woman. I was just trying to give me more
Uh,
coffee. Fly didn't
oh,
send me a cafecito.
bro, if I could have shared it through, it's so funny because again, as we get older, we can have either more or less. I have a pot every morning, a full pot of Cuban
Oh,
coffee.
dude, I'm Colombian, man. I drink coffee all day long,
I
man.
can't drink it all day long anymore,
Yeah,
man. I can't.
yeah. I drink it here. I go to the office and have some at the office, and then lunchtime. Then when I come back to the office after lunch, I have another one, and then I'm pretty much done after that. But
The only way I can do it that late is if I'm fishing. You get up at 4, like when I go tuna fishing in Nova Scotia every day, 8:30,
right.
we get a fucking coffee. See, now, mind you, we leave the dock at 4:30 in the morning. So by 8:30, 9 o'clock, cafecito. I got everybody hooked on it, dude. I'm like the pusher,
Oh,
man.
buddy.
I'm like
Oh,
Superfly. I'm Superfly, man. I'm the pusher. Yeah. Hey.
we
Oh
had
no,
one on the we had
what?
one of those on the Celia P when I fished with the Paleologos brothers and in Kaki and Coco somehow would come up there and we would have little cafecitos in the tower. They're Greek. They're not even Cuban.
Wow.
Yeah, but they love their Cuban
Do
coffee.
you remember Jose Fano?
I remember the name. Yeah,
Jose
Jose
Fano
Fano.
owned the Maverick. Billy Elliott used to run,
Oh,
or
yeah. Out of Coco Plum, Miami,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
back in 1996, I was in Chubb fishing the members tournament, and he knew I was Cuban. So every day he come outside 6 o'clock in the morning. Oye, un cafecito. Yeah, fuck yeah,
Cafecito.
man. Oh yeah.
Un
Fuck
cortadito.
yeah. Every morning he'd come out there with his espumita. Dude, I was jacked up. I was whatever I was, 22 years old, 23 years.
So, what did Peter have to say? Peter Bristow, finish that story because he's a
Oh my
legend.
gosh. So,
Yeah.
let, first of all, his whole tuna fishing story, let me tell you what I thought was the most amazing part. This to me, and you're old enough. to remember certain things in life.
Hmm.
I had this conversation recently with somebody that can't fathom it. Peter Bristow went, I think it was Cairns, Sydney, Sydney, Fiji, Fiji, Honolulu, Honolulu, LA, LA, Miami,
Whew. And then get the khaki.
and
Yeah.
then have to go over to Kaki.
Yeah.
The best part of this entire story, they were in Honolulu for 2.5 hours. So he's like, I want to see Choi's monster. So he leaves the airport, goes to the marina, has a
Fake it.
beer or two, looks at the mount, goes back to the airport, jumps on the plane, and keeps going. Now, for me, that is so amazing. And you can
Yeah.
appreciate this because
Yep.
you're old enough that
Yep.
there was no TSA.
Oh
You
yeah.
could just
No.
get off the plane, go have your
Yeah.
beer, walk right back up to the plane, and go. You can't do that shit nowadays.
No. No.
You,
Not even close.
you can't do that shit nowadays.
Yeah.
I was
That's a pretty good story.
that, to me that was the most amazing part of the story because you can't do that in an airport. You can't
Right.
do that. Fuck, I go 2.5 hours now. Well, it depends on the airport, but 2.5 hours layover. I'm gonna go out and have a couple of beers at the marina.
Yeah. Go look at a mount and drive back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and come
Yeah.
back. So, what he was amazed by the most when he got there was not the tackle, it was the boats.
And that's what got my attention. Because I remember the first time I went to Bimini, I was probably 14, 15-year-old kid. And it was like I was like the scrub down boy for this my local Miami tournament that was held at the big game club, right? And I remember just walking down to the angler and walking over to the Seacrest Marine, and I'm like looking at all these Merritts and Ryboviches and Monterey's and what was that one? The Snow Goose.
Oh,
Uh,
the old Garlington.
yeah, the old, yeah. And I'm looking,
Yeah.
and I remember just this one boat just really stuck out, and I didn't know anything back then, and I was sitting there like just standing behind it, just looking up and down the tower, like in awe how beautiful this boat was, and it was the Cat's Meow, right? And which was built for Barkey as a Xiphias also. It was um, and then fast forward many years later, and I get a chance to work on the boat for 7 or 8 seasons. I forget how many it was, but it was like, but that's what got my attention. Like that's the most beautiful boat I have ever seen in my life. And like, look at that, no outriggers and just everything on the boat. There wasn't a flaw in it, and what it took to keep it that way. I mean, I found out because I went to
Oh,
learn. And we painted that boat every 3 years, whether it needed it or not. George
yeah.
Tracy, you know, David Hawks, all that old crowd from Merritt's back in the day. Yeah,
Oh, no, no, listen, I
the
could tell.
Rasta brothers.
I listen, I could tell you fucking stories about them, all them motherfuckers.
Oh, buddy, yeah, oh, yeah. The secret knock on the paint shed. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, you can get
You
them to
wanted to get
work,
work done, Miller Lite. You had a cooler full of Miller Lite. They would stay till 7, 8 at night. Yeah,
bro. It's so funny you say that because when Mark Henke took over after Dave was running the yard, I used to bring beer on Mondays and Thursdays. And Mark's like, man, you can't be bringing these guys beer. And
yeah,
Eddie was like, give them fucking beer. Because what
yeah.
happens is it, if there was no beer, they go home and drink beer. But if there's beer and it doesn't cost them anything, they'd stay and sand and
Oh
paint.
yeah,
Them
oh yeah,
motherfuckers would work until 9 o'clock at night
oh yeah,
drinking
oh
beer.
yeah,
It's free
oh
beer.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That was the good old Merritt days,
Yeah.
man.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. And then George Tracy and
Clark, yeah,
yeah. And then
Tracy,
the
his
Rastas,
sister. Yeah,
the that's a whole nother story.
yeah. We won't go
That's a whole
there.
and it's not bad. It's just
No, no.
she broke off. She broke off. And
Yeah,
she went and did her own thing, which is a whole nother
yeah,
thing, and it's none of nobody's business. It's not a bad
yeah,
thing. It's just she
yeah,
did her own thing. But I mean, the Rastas, they once they were done with at Merritt's, they always did all of our varnish.
yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
like the Hawkman. Same thing. Hawkman left Merritt's, and I mean, he painted for me a bunch of times. Same Terry. He was the Tyson. Only guy to touch a paintbrush on the Tyson's probably was David Hawks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it's funny because nobody understands, and I love to call it the mafia because it really is. It's like this little
Yeah.
itty bitty mafia where everybody knows everybody. Shit, even when I left the
Yeah.
Real Tight and I went to run the Sapo, that little Rybovich out in Hawaii,
Yeah.
because of my connections and merits, there was things on that old wooden boat I didn't understand. I'd fucking call up the guys and I'm like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Or I take a picture.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
There's always that
Oh,
guy, like at Viking, it's Donnie Gamel. If you need
yeah,
something figured out, you call Donnie Gamel,
yeah.
and
There's always
you
that
in
one.
fact,
Exactly.
yeah, and back then it was Don Sloss, or if you needed something, electric, you called Don Sloss.
Don Sloths redid the wiring on my flats boat. Kenny and his brother did the painting on my flats boat. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
fucking Matterhorn white and ice blue on my flats boat. It's the
How
only
about that?
fucking merit colored flats boat out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but it was like a little mafia, and I used to always tease Roy, hey man, where's my paperwork for my 401k? I spend enough fucking time in this yard.
Right.
I want a 401k.
Dude, so my time at Merritt's is like there was still a couple, tuna boats still getting ready there, and that's what the whole Merritt family came from. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they built these boats for, was for that fishing. They still had the spot where we could go hang our riggers in the shed, on the either side of the shed or up above inside the shed there
Yeah.
over Uncle Carl's freaking workbench there. And that's kind of a forgotten thing now, man.
Yeah.
It
It's
really is. It's
our chair on the Real Tight was the last chair Uncle Carl ever built before he passed.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. What a legend, man.
Yeah, that guy was there for 55 years. I think Larry Keneally passed him at 55.
Really?
Yeah, I think Larry's passed him. Yeah. Because Larry,
Yeah.
after Uncle Carl passed, Larry was the next one in line at 39 years.
Really? I
And
would think Cedric or Jimmy Schwartz or some of those guys would be
no,
up there too.
Cedric left a couple of times. Tommy Thompson
Ah,
left a couple of times.
Tommy Thompson. That was the other guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy
Yeah.
Schwartz,
Jimmy
Tommy
Schwartz. Yeah.
Thompson. Tommy Thompson left. He moved up until he was the yard manager, and he's like, "Fuck this," he's out. And then he came back. So no, Larry was the only continuous one, 39 years.
So I remember this is a good story. We're sitting there, I don't know, 1990 something, getting the boat ready at Merritt's, and Danny Bear, myself, John Sabonis, and Roy. And Roy's, telling us the story how it was the first boat he built and how little Roy was conceived in that boat. And blah, we had heard the story, I don't know how many
Oh
times, every
boy.
year, right? Yeah. And he's going on, and it was like back then it was like, oh, Roy Merritt, phone call line one, and he'd like blow it off. We're talking tuna,
Yeah.
you know. Again, a couple minutes, Roy Merritt, phone call line one. And finally, I forget who it was. It was Christine, I think it was, that was in the office. Roy, Stuart Campbell, line one. Gotta go, boys. It was gone.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
There's definitely a hierarchy.
Oh
There's
yeah. And at
definitely
the time they were building that express boat.
oh, Project X.
The Project X. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So
I remember that.
yeah, that's why I was like, yep, Stuart
That
Campbell got to run.
that is so. I when we first took delivery of the 80, we were down in St. Thomas, and Jim Lambert's eldest grandson, comes out and says, "Pop, pop, the forward hatch is leaking." And Jim looks at him and he goes, "Don't tell me. Go in there and tell Mr. Roy." So fucking Adam disappears and he comes back like 15 minutes later. And when he walks outside, Jim's like, "Where the fuck did you go?" He goes, "Well, I told Mr. Roy." And he goes, "Well, what did he say?" He said, "Well, go get a couple towels and put it underneath it."
Oh
Oh,
God, I
it
still love
fucking
going back to that yard, and I'm going to try to make a point to stop in and see Roy here next time I fly into Florida.
it,
Because it's always a good sit down. You hope to see him for 5 minutes. You talk for 2 hours.
oh my God. And here's
Yeah.
the funny part. Him and I, we have the same doctor. So when I worked for Jim, Jim had a family doctor and we were part of the family. So when I left, Doc said, "Listen, I can still be your doctor. You just have to pay for me." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." He doesn't take insurance, pay cash. Doctor visits aren't that expensive. We're not talking like hundreds of dollars. He's just a general practitioner. Well, um, Roy's his patient as well. So every once in a while, I'll get a phone call and I look and it's Roy Merritt. I heard you were down here and you didn't come to the yard.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh my God, it's fucking good. And listen, you don't want to piss off the Godfather.
No,
You do
no,
not want to piss off the Godfather.
no, no, not at all, man. Not
I
at all.
listen, I got so many good. There was one time we were rebuilding. Uh, we were repowering the boat, and it was Christmas. It was December 23rd. Everybody's gone home for the holidays. Fucking Jim is nowhere to be found. Eddie's home in North Carolina. Joe is gone. I think this was Porkchop's first year dating his wife. So he's up in Oklahoma. So I'm home and I was on the phone with, of all people, I was on the phone with Tiny. And I see three mechanics showing up and they're like, "Hey, is this the real tight?" I'm like, "Tiny, let me let you go." So I go, "Yeah, this is the real tight. How can I help you?" He goes, "Hey man, there's three mechanics. There's two Cuban guys and one white dude." And he's like, "Hey, where's your parts?" And I'm like, "They're right there in that shed, the shed where they lay up all the hulls." And I'm like, "What do you want with our parts?" "Oh, we need to borrow your exhaust manifold or intake manifold, one of them. I can't remember what it was." And I'm like, "Hold on a second. Nobody told me about borrowing our intake manifold or exhaust manifold, whatever the fuck." I said, "Let me call Eddie." So I call Eddie, no answer. I called Owen, who was our mechanic from the mechanic shop, and I don't want to mention any names because I don't want to
Mhm.
downplay anybody, and because this has nothing to do with the the engine man dealership,
Right.
and I'm like, "Man, I can't get a hold of anybody, and I I can't really let you go with anything." He goes, "Well, they told us we got to pick them up and uh, somebody wants to use their boat on the 25th, and we'll get it back to you right after Christmas." So I'm like, "Hold on a second." So I run over to Roy's office. I mean, I literally run, and fuck, I'm trying to think. I might have been 30,
Oh, so
maybe.
you could still run.
I could still run. So I fucking ran, dude. I fucking ran. And he's in there with Skinny Al. And I go, "Godfather." He goes, "What's going on?" I go, "There's three mechanics here. They want my exhaust manifolds." And Eddie never told me about him. Do I have to let him take them? He goes, "No, Jim paid for them. They're private property, and they're on private property. And if they have a problem, they got to get off before I charge them for trespassing." I go, "That's all I need to know." So I fucking run right back. Here I am. You know, again, we're about the same age, and anybody that's listening understands when you're 29, 31, and there's a hierarchy. There's, mates, there's captains, there's owners,
Oh yeah.
and you don't want to outstretch yourself too much because you're not the guy in charge. But
Yeah.
once you get given permission, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So I run over, and the one white dude's on the phone talking, and the Cuban guy's there. And I go, "Hey man, do you believe in Jesus?" And he looks at me. It's 2 days before Christmas. And he goes, "Jesus?" I go, "Yeah. Do you believe in Jesus Christ?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Well, you got a better chance of seeing him than taking my motherfucking exhaust manifolds." And right then, the guy on the phone, he goes, "Hey man, let me call you back." And he goes, "What's going on?" I go, "I just talked to Roy, and you got to get the fuck out of the yard before he calls the police on you."
You're going trespassing here. Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, here comes Roy on his golf cart with Skinny Al. He goes, "What seems to be the problem, gentlemen?" And, he,
Yeah.
Roy was, again, by this, however old Roy was at the time, he was probably
Yeah.
60, whatever. He goes, "Listen, those engines belong to Jim Lambert. And unless I get a call from Mr. Lambert himself, you can't take those parts. So they leave. So I finally get the call from Eddie later on that night. And I think he had already talked to Roy. And Eddie goes, "What the fuck did you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I thought I did something right. I thought I did something right." And he goes, "Man, Roy called me up and told me to call him. He said you walked in there like a fucking pit bull and you took out of there and you took a bite out of there."
Yeah.
Listen, there's permission from Eddie, and then there's permission from Roy or Jim, which
Yeah.
really, on the scale of when it comes to bosses, for me, there's fucking Jim Lambert. But
Yeah.
Roy
For
Merritt
sure.
is right up there, man. And once Roy cut me loose, he was right. He told Eddie, he goes, he was like a little Cuban pit bull. He fucking took out of there. He's like, I better go because this could get ugly.
Yeah. Right. No doubt. No doubt.
It was
So
fucking
awesome,
great.
man.
Yeah, but I mean, that was Roy Merritt. Not was. That still is Roy Merritt.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
He's 80 something now, I think, right?
No.
81, maybe.
You know what? He might be 81.
Yeah.
I
I
you
think
know,
he
I
is, man.
wanted to say 79, but no. I think you're right. He's 81 now.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I was just looking at one of the podcasts. I was scrolling through social media uh 2 days ago. I was talking with Randy Tao, and we were talking about boat builders just in general, because he built that one boat that's the skipjack now. I go, in our world of sport fishing boats, I do not think there is a boat builder that hasn't called Roy about something.
Oh, I remember. I saw that clip on Instagram. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yep.
there's a boat builder out there that has not called Roy about something,
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
you
No doubt.
know?
And
And it's not like
for
he went
sure.
to college or has he's a naval architect. He's a lot like old man Jim Smith used to be. He could just look
Yeah.
at a boat and say, "Okay, let's do this." And it would work.
Yeah. Well, that's what he came from. His dad and his uncle Buddy. You
Yeah.
know, they sat there, and designed these boats to be able to catch these giant bluefins in Bimini, and then the tower and everything else that came along with it. That was all Buddy and Merritt. You know,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
funny because when I got, man, again, how blessed I've been in life. One of my greatest memories is the opportunity to go yellowtail fishing with Old Man Allen, with Pops.
man.
I
Oh
mean,
man.
but you listen to that guy because he would talk, Buddy was his brother. So
Yep.
the way he would talk, and it's like, oh, no. So I wanted this for fishing, and my brother Buddy would build it for me. So there were certain things. Buddy was the builder,
Yeah.
Allen was the fisherman.
The fisherman. Correct.
And between the two, it was like this perfect yin and yang,
Yep.
where I really wanted to do this. And so I told my brother, hey, I want to do this. So he would go out and build a center rigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you the year, but it was probably 2009, 10, 11, something like that. And I'm on the, pretty sure it was on the Celia P. And just think about giant tuna fishing in Bimini is no one does it anymore. So it's like,
No.
you got an idea who's either on the edge ahead of you or behind you, and I think we were the only boat there. So all of a sudden, here's this boat behind us on the edge. Who the hell is that? So like when you keep looking back, it's like wherever it is definitely looking for tuna. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we just pull it out of gear and we sit there and we let this boat kind of catch up to us. And sure enough, dude, there's Big Al on his boat, that old like Key West, whatever that thing was. Remember
Yeah.
that boat? And Ronnie that worked in the machine shop. That
Oh,
was kind of like
yeah.
Ronnie. Just the two of them. And Big Al's in the tower. He's bleeding down his leg.
Motherfucker's
And
always bleeding.
and Ronnie's just shaking his head. He's like, he had to come up here. I told him, don't come up in the tower. And there's Big Al. I don't know how old he was. No rod. I mean, he just wanted to be up in the tower on the edge
And looking.
and looking. Yeah.
He's
I'm like,
fucking. Listen,
Just a goat.
he was what and so
He
uh
told us one day, it was, and I was just like the third guy in the conversation. 'Cause I was just a young buck, but it was Danny Bear and John Sabonis and Big Al, and we're sitting in the on the right behind the cat's meow under the shed there.
yeah,
And he goes, you guys are a lot better. And he's referring to Dan and John.
yeah.
And he goes, you guys are a lot better tuna fishermen than I was. 'Cause, you know, I'd see a bunch. I'd make one or two passes and then peel off and wait for the next bunch and let the guys behind me have them. We're we're having to bait these bunches for miles, hoping to get a bite, right? Because there's not that many fish. Before then back then it was so many of them. Yeah, if I don't get a bite on the first pass, I'd let them go and let the guy behind me have them. I'm like, I wish we had that luxury.
Yeah.
So I mean, can you imagine how many of those fish were swimming that edge back then? Wow.
Oh my
You know,
gosh. Shit, when
yeah,
I heard some of the stories, Pops, I think he won that Cat Key Tuna tournament like 8 years in a row.
he did. I think yeah, 7 or 8, or he won it 11 times if my memory serves me right.
Yeah. He was
7 in a row, I think it was
there was
on
whatever.
the Catch Me Out or with that boat that he built. It was
Yeah.
Caliban.
He was amazing. Amazing fisherman. Just
Yeah, I mean, and I'd love to have gotten I got a chance to ride the tower with Bear. I've not one time I made it out with Kalex, and we had we didn't need to be out there that day. It was way too big. Way too big.
bro, I can write a
I was
book
like,
just on the days that I shouldn't have been out there.
I mean, but we had to go. It was like, oh my God, can you imagine? It was blowing southwest like 25, 30. It was like a tropical depression. We go out there on this boat and we're like, okay, there they are, but we can't turn. we ended up we ended up riding down sea all the way to Bimini and went into there and spent the night. That's how
Really?
we was like, there's no way we're getting back into Gunky. We're
Into
gonna
cat.
wreck this boat. Yeah, like cut through Gunky. It was like we're gonna wreck this boat.
Oh my gosh.
So it was yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, we've
That's happened to me a couple of times.
we,
Oh, we gotta go, we gotta go, we got the win. It's gonna, get out there like, yeah, no, we're gonna break something.
we've all
You know,
done shit like that. I remember one time fishing the December moon in St. Thomas.
yep,
Just to give you, we rode out, beat the living shit out of us, but we were able to get out by Anagata, and
uh huh,
we just did one giant down sea tack all
sea
the way
tack,
to the south drop. We
yep,
couldn't turn around. We could not turn around.
yep.
If we hooked up, which we didn't, thank God. I don't know what we would have done. To be honest with you, I have no clue what we would have fucking done. It's just one
I
giant long sea down sea tack. You
remember
know?
the Lemon's boat back then, that tower.
Oh
So
my
that
God.
that boat was built by Danny Bear, with Sadowski, and I remember being there. And obviously, by the time I started tuna fishing, that boat was long gone from Bimini. I think that boat only did one season in Kaki in Bimini, that revenge boat, because before that it was the Bushwhacker, the Smith boat they had. But
Yeah.
I remember climbing up in that tower in the North Drop just because I had to go see it. I gotta go up, man. Just imagining myself there in Tuna Alley, like, oh my God. It's like you could see these things from freaking 2 miles away. And I was like, now I'm up here on the North Drop, and he turns around before I could get down, and we're going up sea. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
You can't do it. You're just fucking holding on for dear life,
I'm
man.
hanging on for dear life up there. This tower was a nosebleeder. If you remember it.
Oh my
It's been
God.
since cut off that boat. But yeah, I was like, God damn.
Where is that boat right now?
Man, I lost track of that. But last this is how long ago it was. Last I knew, Freddie was running it,
The
potatoes,
ADHD.
and they had cut the tower off.
Yeah,
They
that's
put a shorter tower on it. I have no idea where that boat is now.
okay. Yeah, that's the
Not
last I know of it. And
But that I
that's
would
maybe
love to have
12
fished
years
on that
ago.
boat on the edge. That boat rode and it was fast, and you know
Great
back then
fishing.
these guys used to have that khaki tournament, and it was a shotgun start. And it was a race to the edge. Whoever had the point, whoever was the lead boat on that edge, you have the point, and you did everything possible not to lose it. Unless you saw a big bunch. If it was single, you probably let a single go by you. To not lose the point on a single fish, right?
Yeah.
I remember Big Al and Gary Stuve and those guys talking about that. And by the time I got around to doing it, there's no one really I think that the most this year we had three boats on the edge with myself, Alex, on Johnny Morris's boat, and Bart Sherwood on the Fighting Lady or Raul Gutierrez's little Hatteras or Viking. Sorry, it's an old Viking. But there's no jungling as we used to call it. When I first started doing it, it was a lot of 12, 13 boats. And everybody had their etiquette.
Yeah.
You don't get in anyone's way. You see a boat turn around, you got to go way up inside of them and make sure you don't screw up their part of the edge and where they're baiting fish. And now whatever.
Yeah,
There's
well,
nobody doing it.
hopefully we'll start seeing some more of it. You mentioned that the fishing has gotten better and better. This last fisheries meeting I was at 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know how much you pay attention to the fishery management here in the US for the bluefin tuna, but last year in 2025, the rec guys were all up in arms because they cut their recreational retention by 50%. And everybody's like, how the fuck are you cutting us by 50%? We just had the greatest year ever in 2024
On small fish, right? Like mediums.
on
It was like
all, on
us.
everything,
Oh, really? I thought
on
it was like
every,
72
abs,
inches below. Like, yeah, like a lot.
it's
I remember all the other
72,
Jersey guys.
73, 73 and above, 72 below. They,
Right.
um, they got everything worked out. They just wiped everything out. And I had a conversation with Scott Lennox. I don't know if you know Scott from Ocean City, Maryland. In
Yeah.
the month of December, they were going out still catching bluefins. And once the year wrapped up and they started adding up the numbers, we went over quota by 50%. And the way ICAT works, if you ever go over quota, you have to repay it.
Right. So it
And
goes less the next year or something.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so what NIMS did was they cut everybody's quota by 50%. And and I've had this conversation on the podcast and I've had this conversation in fisheries. You gotta do a better job with communicating with the people, with the fishermen of why you cut the quotas, why you cut the retention limits. Because listen, my name's on the website. When people want to know a problem, they call me. And
Yeah.
why did they cut the quotas? Why did they cut the quotas? It's like, this is the way it works. Oh, well, that makes sense. Now, that doesn't mean everybody was like that, but most of the people understand when something happens, um, why a retention. If you explain to it because we got to repay the quota, people understand. Maybe they don't like it, but at least they understand it.
Yeah.
And 2024 was by far one of the most amazing years for bluefin on all sides, mediums, large, and giants. It was phenomenal. People are catching fucking bluefin off piers now.
Yeah. And it's working. Whatever they're doing, it's working. And one thing we noticed this year was smaller fish. The first few bunches we saw were all like 350s, 400s, 500s, which, and then like as that was like in the high teens, the 17, 18, 19 of May, and then we got into the 20s and I was like, it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now we're looking at 6, 7s, and 8s now, like in these bunches, like big fish. But I don't ever remember like seeing, oh, look at that little one, like 300 pounder somewhere by the boat.
Man, that's great. That means
It's
there's
great.
the
It's great.
future is good.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And I really wish they would let us do one fish just to, I mean, the people in Bimini, I've seen that island go from flourishing to famish. It's
Were you in Walker's when Robbie Moore came in with his 1,000 pounder?
no, I remember that though, but no, I was
Bruh,
not.
that
Yeah,
was amazing. It was amazing to watch people. Okay, he takes out what he wants, and then everybody that lived over in Grand that worked on the island, everybody, here's some Ziploc bags. Grab whatever you want. There was nothing left of that fucking thing.
we weighed a fish in June 1st, 1999. We weighed an 884 in Bimini on a catch me out, and it's amazing nothing goes to waste.
No.
I mean, nothing. So I watched everybody came and went. You know, the loins were the first thing to go when they're scraping the backbones. I mean, they're everything. And right across the Seacrest Marina was the Royal Canadian Bank, right? So they got off of work like, I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever it was. The lady from the bank walks over, big old Bahamian woman. Literally, the guts were laying there, right? She grabs the guts, puts them in a bucket, and walks away with the guts. Now, what was she doing with them? I don't know. Maybe using them for crab bait. I have no clue. But I'm like, she just took the guts. I'm like,
Listen, nothing goes to waste, man.
nothing.
Nothing goes to waste. Have you been to Japan yet?
No, that's on my bucket list. I'd like to see that market.
One of my favorite. I have not been to the new market. I've only been to the old market, and now I still go when I'm there. When I'm in Tokyo, I always go to the old market. What's left of all the restaurants there? That's where I go for breakfast every day, and I just have tuna and rice. And my favorite is their what they call chopped fatty tuna. It's the scrapings off the skeleton.
Ooh.
Oh my God. It
Is it like
is,
Toro tasting or?
it's just, it feels like bacon. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing to it. It's like chum for lack.
Yeah.
What I normally do is medium fatty, regular fatty, and then 2 scoops of the chopped tuna on white rice. And I just mix them up and a little soy and wasabi and
Yeah.
green tea for breakfast. Best way to wake up in the morning, man. Best
Oof.
way to wake
That
up in the
sounds
morning.
that sounds
Anybody
so
that's
good.
ever come to Japan with me, I went last summer. I took one of my business partners. I got invited to fish a tournament over there, and as soon as we got there, I says, "Wake up early tomorrow morning, and I'm going to take you to breakfast." What are we having? We're having raw tuna, but
Right?
it's so, and the old Skiji fish market, the way it's all set up, uh, it's not like a fancy restaurant. They're like little booths, like in the old fairs. You got some guy with some plywood up, and husband and a wife, and you point at the picture because they all have pictures of everything. I want this, and
Right.
goes in there and whatever it is, I don't care what it is. If I had to pay $30, I'd pay $30 for it.
So
It's
you never did go fish over there in Bimini or Kaki in your
I've
career, did
never
you?
I've never been to Bimini.
How about that?
I've been to
Wow.
Cat once. I went for the Boys and Girls Club fishing tournament, but I've never been big. Here's the, and for me, it was a good thing because I spoke Spanish. I
Right.
got scooped up and went right to Central America.
Right. Yeah.
The first time I went to Mexico and people were like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" Boom. Next year
Yeah.
I was in Panama, you
Yeah.
know, and
And that's how
I'm
I
a,
got here to Costa Rica
yeah.
because I spoke Spanish. I got hired on the Stephanie Lee. You speak
I,
Spanish? Yep. You're
I,
hired.
it's funny because I was thinking about that the other day. Somewhere there's a video because I helped you guys take the boat down. There's a video you guys put a fucking flying fish next to my pillow and you commentated the whole fucking thing. Hi, Fly, how are you?
That was a delivery crew from hell, man.
Oh my gosh, there was us, the cool
You,
runnings, the
Cujo, yeah, Linsky, and myself on the
oh
Stephanie
my
Lee.
God,
Yeah, it
that was
was.
so fucking much fun. That was
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of
so much
Aruba to
fun.
Panama. Yeah, that was a
Oh,
blast, man.
that's right. We ended up watching, was it Florida State and Oklahoma? It was one of the national championships. We sat in Aruba and watched it.
I remember being in Aruba watching the Canes and get get robbed out of a national championship that one year
Then it
with
must have.
a late flag. But I think I was by myself. We would definitely, yeah, because I did that trip twice.
Okay.
So that was, yeah.
No, 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 no. The one that they got robbed was like '06
That was like
against the,
two. Oh, it was 2002, and it was in the Fiesta Bowl, I think it was. Or
yeah,
who the hell
against
was
Ohio
it?
State.
Oh, Ohio State. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because
that
that
was
was
'02. But when we took the boat, the Stephanie Lee, it was 2000.
it, it was
2000 or
2000.
2001, something like that.
It was. That's, did we go after the New Year? It was right there,
It
2000,
was right
2001. It
after
was
the
right
New
around the
Year.
New Year. Okay, so it was
Cujo,
01.
Linsky, and me,
Yep.
we were all three in the last row of the plane,
Yeah.
flying
Yeah,
down
because I
there.
was there waiting on you guys. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we went down to the canal because
Well,
right after.
you're gonna have to go try it one day so you can talk about it.
Listen, man, all you got to do is call me up. I tell everybody, it's it sucks because we've gotten so busy that I very rarely just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, man, I want to do this."
Yeah.
I wait till somebody calls me, and I very rarely tell anybody no. What I might say is, "Listen, I can't make it that week. Can I go the next week? Can I go a couple days early?" Like, I'll give you an example. I don't know. You know Stéphane Milans from France?
No.
He has a boat in Abidjan in Ivory Coast. Every year he calls me up, but it's always like this year I was at a wedding in Saudi Arabia, so I couldn't go. So every year there's something I want to go. It's just making my schedule work, and if you give me enough time, I just block it out. And
This
I don't want to sound like an asshole. Even my
no, no,
girlfriend does
no.
my no no no. Even my girlfriend does that. She's like, "Hey, what are we doing these days?" Nothing.
Right.
Okay, block it out. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
What for?
yeah.
So the one thing I've seen about this
Just
is
tell me when.
the people who are still left on this earth that got a chance to do it and see it will always want to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we after we caught the first fish, we couple days, and I think Lance was leaving, and Chris goes to me, he's like, we might need another guy, get some help. I was like, see if you can come up with someone. I'll see if I can come up with someone. So I get on the phone. The first person I send a text to is Rhett Bailey, and,
Oh, okay.
and so I go, how fast can you get here? Can you be here tomorrow? That's what the text said, right? No reply. So I call Ewald. I call Van Witchers. I'm thinking, who the hell's in Florida that can just hop on a plane and get here and just hang out and go fishing? It ain't a lot of work, really. It's just long hours in the tower. We rig a handful of baits in the morning, and no one can go. Ewald, God, I'd love to go, man, but I got, I'm booked up, this, that, the other. I'm thinking of other people. I'm like, God. Finally, Rhett calls me back. He's like, yeah, I think I can go. I can be here tomorrow. He's like, I just woke up from a colonoscopy.
Oh
I'm
dear
like,
God.
I'm like,
Again, we're
so
old
you're
motherfuckers, man.
high on the propofol, right? And the first thing you wake up and see is my text, and you know where I'm at because we have been talking the whole week, right?
Yeah.
And sure enough, he's on the first flight in the morning, right? And hey, Red, guess what? You're in the chair. He's like, oh, wow, cool. Well, I've never been in. He flew in and fished it with Peter Wright in 1993, and like
Oh
his
wow.
first day fishing, he catches one, right? And he got to see it back then on the Raptor. So he'd always wanted to, come back and do it, So I'm like, well, you're in chair, and he's like, listen, I've caught a grander in Australia and I've done this, but I've never caught a bluefin and bimini in the chair. I would love to do it. So we had the angler that's been with us for 2 years who fished on the Catch Me Out back in the 90s. He's like, I want to catch another one. Like, he caught one. He was like 19 years old back in like 1991 or something like that. He goes, I want to catch another one. So he's been our angler for the last couple of seasons. Well, he wasn't flying in until Saturday, I believe, and Rhett came in on Wednesday. And I think on the morning, Saturday morning, we catch a fish, and Rhett's in the chair. And I don't know if I sent you that video. He's got the meta glasses on.
The
And
video you sent me was from somebody that was on the bridge.
oh, okay. So that's of Lance wiring the fish, probably.
It could have been Lance. I used to be
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good at recognizing people from the back of their head.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. I think so. That was probably the first fish we caught. And yeah, Lance on the leader. And then so I'll send that video to you. So Rhett's got it. Um, he got it on his meta glasses. See the you see the bite, and then the run down off the edge. You got to run these things off the edge, or else they break you off. Because that edge goes gone, zero. And it's a race to the edge. So to me, it's the most adrenaline 10 seconds of fishing you can have. You know, because it's like seeing them and baiting them and like, oh my god, wow, wow, wow. And then you see the bite. Most of the time, the guy driving doesn't see the bite because we're looking at the other fish we're trying to get the bait to next, and
Yeah.
so usually you just hear it over the headset or out loud, whatever. And I had on that fish that Red caught, I had just like turned my head to look where I'm gonna get the next fish or where I'm gonna get the bait to.
Yeah.
And I hear him, oh, got him on. I turn around and just saw the giant hole in the water. I'm like, fuck, I missed the bite. And sure enough, the drone missed the bite, like,
Ugh.
damn. But that like it doesn't last long. It's like you hear you're punching it, you're in the tower, now you're running back into the sea and racing them off the edge, and you're hanging on, and then you get offshore and the line's going straight to the reef, which everyone thinks, all right, let's back up and go get him.
No, no, no,
Right.
no,
Well,
no.
I've made that mistake before once. The first one I ever caught driving. I'm like, oh, he's backed up on a reef. Well, the whole thing, the line's doing this, but then it's actually going like that. So by the time I got where I thought it was over, I'd made the bad move and he broke me off. So I never made that mistake again. So,
At least you learned it quick, man.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, the day you stop learning, you're dead, right?
Yeah.
So I tell everybody it's like the longest play in football. It's the most exciting thing I've ever done. If there was a career tombstone when I pass, that's what I want to be known for. He kept fishing in Tuna Alley for giant bluefin. Forget the Triple Crowns and everything down here. No,
Yeah.
that's a stopgap for me.
Yeah.
May and June. If I never spent a day on a boat ever, but that's what I would still want to do. You know,
Fair
it's the
enough.
most amazing thing. It's awesome seeing these fish migrate over the reef. And the way they behave and interact. It's like wow. It's so cool.
What I
And to true
was
test of tackle.
that is 100% with those animals. It's always a test to tackle.
It's a test of tackle. And here we are. Like I just sent my 2 reels last year. I sent them out to Cal Sheets and had a higher gear because you get chop offs all the time, right? And a stock Penn International, you're waiting forever to got to wind in that freaking chop off, and you're still trying to get lined up. And this year was like the thing was in, new bait clipped on, go right
I,
back out.
I've been chatting back and forth to get him on the podcast.
Oh, dude,
Oh my
yeah. So
God. I so want to talk to him.
what he did to my reels is awesome.
Yeah. What he's done for so many people's reels is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, and I
Yeah.
remember calling Lasley, and I go, what do you? I'm sure you guys are doing. He's like, oh, 100%. We're going to a higher gear, this, that, the other, and so, you know, sent
Yeah.
him out to him, and came back, and wow, and then the drag even
It's
better.
it's just it's a different animal when they come back from Cal.
It's yeah, and we're fishing for a different animal. Blue marlin, black marlin, they're freaking awesome. They're great.
But it's different.
It ain't a bluefin
Listen,
tuna.
you guys fishing for them in Bimini is totally different than what we're doing in Nova Scotia because
Oh yeah,
we're only in 100 foot of water. They're not
they got
going.
nowhere to go.
They got
Yeah,
fucking nowhere to go.
yeah, exactly,
So what you
exactly.
guys are doing is totally, totally fucking different than what we're doing.
Yeah, and think about the rods. Those are the old solid fiberglass Shakespeare blanks that hadn't been made in 30 or 40 years. There's only a handful of them around. I know Peter B's rods were stolen. God knows where they're at.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you ever saw his rods, but they all had a name. It was Blood, Sweat, and I forget what the other one was. It was like 3 of them, I think.
Blood, sweat, and
But they're
tears.
yeah, I could have been.
I
But
don't
I don't
know.
remember. I remember
It
Blood and
just
Sweat.
go.
Oh, New Blood. It was Blood and New Blood. He had another
Okay.
one built. And you just can't get those rods anymore.
Yeah.
The tips had to be machine made. You had to go to a machine shop and have it made to fit the end of that blank, and they don't bend, and it's almost necessary there. So you get off the corner, you don't have a rod that's bending.
Yeah.
And now you've got a rod that clears the corner of the boat, and no problem. But it
I
takes an
was
angler.
I was so jealous when you sent me that video, and I'm like, oh my God, look how clear that water.
Oh
Look
man,
how
it's
pretty that is.
some of the footage we got on the drone is amazing. It's really cool.
No,
Um,
that's
and I'm hoping there's not many of us left. Like, I mean,
No, I get it.
Gary Stu went this year, but Gary's 80 something probably, and he
Yeah.
was with Bart Sherwood. So I got to give Bart credit. He goes every year. He finds a way to go and sit on that edge. Like me, I went an 8 year gap that I 7 year gap that I didn't go. I mean, nobody. I didn't have someone to go with. So I got a random phone call, and here I was, and
Those are the best, though.
Alex,
Random phone
Alex.
calls are the fucking best, though.
Oh yeah, I had 2022 was like I hadn't been to. I think 2014 was the last year I was there. We had like no conditions. We saw like one bunch, and then I went that stretch of years without going. And I'm happened to be sitting in Florida, and Johnny Legrone calls me. He's like, "Hey, my son, little Nito, little John, he's there. He's working on a 58 merit. They're going to Bimini, and they want to try to tuna fish." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, yeah. I was like, all right. Well, I'm supposed to go to home to Costa Rica tomorrow, but if they're serious, I'll change my ticket. I had flown up for like a weekend, and so I had nothing on me. I had like a few changes of clothes and
What
carry
else do
on
you need?
bag, and
What else do
but
you
all of
need?
my tuna tackle stays at my parents' house. My rods, my reels, my crimping tool, and it all put away, ready to just jump on the next boat, right? So we go down there and I drive to Ocean Reef. I pick up baited bucklands on the way down, and like here we go, slap a trip together, buy clothes. I'm like, all right, give me a handful of long sleeves and da da da. Da. Jump on this boat. Never met these people, and here we go. The only person I know on the boat is the captain of the mate because I've known Nito since he was a little boy, and
Yeah.
is the captain on the boat was he had been down there working for Mitch Pearson for many years, so I knew him. And sure enough, we get there and we bang a wheel. Oh, coming in, yeah. And it was just, it's a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
He's asking, the captain's driving, he's asking me, I'm going on about tuna fishing and, telling him about it. And he wasn't paying it. He was looking back at me, and next thing you know, he had drifted, bro, right, bang, we bang a wheel. So we
Oh.
lose a handful of days of fishing. We get the wheel off, get the Bahamian to bang it out. The guy did a great job. We're back fishing, right? 58 merit. Water's dirty. It was like horrible condition. Like we had the wind, but we had nothing else. We're like down off of Cacti and then like no light. Look back in Bimini's beautiful. The sun's beaming on Bimini. He's like, well, let's run north of Bimini. At least we can see up there.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a fish. And then Bimini gets cloudy and I can see the lighthouse at Gun Keys just lit up beautiful. I'm like, well, there's sun down there. Let's run down there. Sure enough, here's like 5 p.m. First bunch we see for the trip.
Oh.
And yeah. And turn around, same thing, line up, first bunch, first pass. We got him on. We fight this fish till like 8:30 at night. We ended up breaking him off on the leader. But that was the random phone call. Here I was about to jump on an airplane and go home, and 4 days later, we're catching. That was a nice fish. That was probably one of those 700-800s, and I was like, wow, that was awesome,
Yeah.
and now I've been with Chris the last 3 years, and that's going to keep going, and then one thing I keep telling him is like, I would love for someone to pass the torch to, because besides Alex, I'm not sure how he's probably pushing 70, I'm guessing, late 60s, Alex Adler. I'm not sure. Um,
Yeah.
you
He's
know,
probably, I think he's over that 70 mark, I think.
I mean, yeah. And
I think he might be 70, 71.
yeah, maybe, but you probably still see him a mile away. He's been known for his eyes for his whole life, and then Bart Sherwood, and those are the guys that still do it. I mean, Cookie texts me report every day,
Really?
update, question mark, report, and we go back and forth about, he hasn't been back there in a long time.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
So, here's
Yeah.
here's a forgotten art in a way, you know, it really is. It's who's gonna keep doing this? Everything we use today on a boat somehow was developed because of that fishery. The bent butt rod, the
100%.
lever drag reel, the tuna tower, right? I remember my boss on the cast me out, and he had a machine, like injection molding company, so he had his own little machine shop. Every year, I would box up the crimping tool, and I would ship it to him in Pennsylvania, and he would test the crimping tool. He would adjust the cams, and we had that perfect. Like we were maximizing what we could get out of our leaders. Our crimps were perfect. Everything was breaking over test, but you might get one shot all
Better
year.
fucking count.
You better make sure our shit's tight, you know. So there's no excuse. So what did Gary Stu say? Is like there's no such thing as luck. Luck is when opportunity meets
Means
preparation or something
preparation.
like yeah. And it
Yeah,
was like,
that's Jim Lambert used to
yeah,
always say that to me. Luck is
yeah,
just when opportunity meets preparation.
yeah,
You got to
yeah.
be fucking
Yeah.
prepared.
You gotta be, and then it's like I I rig all the bait. Here, I don't touch a bait. That's Smalls and those guys. That's their department. But if
You
I'm
have
up in
to
the
wear
tower,
glasses to rig my fucking herrings in the morning. I gotta
dude,
fucking I
I
can
can't see
barely
the.
see.
I'm the same way. I'm like, just getting my deno tape through the freaking needle, to stitch my mackerels. It's I can't do it without my glasses now, but I learned this from Danny Bear. Danny would rig one bait every tuna day, right? And his mates would rig the rest. That way, if there was one bait that didn't swim right, he could not yell at them because it could have been the one he rigged.
Oh, I-
So
you know what? That makes wow. I like that.
now
I
you
never.
get two in a row that didn't swim right. Now
You're
you're going to say
fucked.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I rig all the bait. This year, Rhett and Lance helped a little bit, but it's like, okay, I can only get mad at myself, you
yeah.
know? So you get one that's, it's like, okay, well, that one's perfect. That's bait number one, oh, that one's perfect. Make that number two, and then, all right, that mullet's kind of on its side. Let's work on it. Sometimes it's just an adjustment, push the head down, whatever, but we'll get it. But we test swim all our baits on the way out, you know? And believe it or not, we've had chop offs right there and
I can
right in
fucking
front of the
believe.
marina. Go,
Boom.
well, forget that one. Yep.
Took
I can see the CUDA swim. Like,
get it out of the water. Get it out of the water. To
So
quote Billy Elliot,
yeah, yeah.
they're gonna chew you
And
up,
then,
boy.
and one thing we learned from the drone footage this year was these tuna. I mean, that bait's better be perfect. We had one following and following and following. You see the rest of the bunch tacked this way, and then he kept following the bait, but not like right here, but he was like a wave, like, but he was following, because that bait would
Yeah.
tack, and then he came up to it, and the bait just happened to like kind of go like this on its side a little bit, and he went,
Oh.
oh, I was like, oh man,
It,
and sometimes they're hauling ass, sometimes they're barely creeping, where you're like one engine in gear and like pulling it out, just to let them kind of catch up to you. And then there's times where you're two engine gear in sync and like going 8 knots because they're smoking.
they're fucking
So it's like
cruising.
it's yeah. Sometimes I go no lead. We don't know what the day's going to bring. Every day is different. So or do we go 1 ounce lead? Do we go? Depends. It's tough, man. It's not easy. So I think a lot of people would go there, try it. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in the world. But chances are you're probably not going to catch one.
Oh, that's why they call it fishing and not catching.
Well, especially over there, man. But the fact of how we're doing it, it's if you like the deer hunt, you'd probably love this.
I am so glad you just brought up deer hunting because I just talked to Pugsley the other day and he was telling me about a story about you guys hunting. So let's talk a little bit about that. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch.
Pugsley. Oh boy.
Pugsley, he called me up.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny. He called me up uh, that
I love
morning.
that guy,
Bubba
dude.
Carter called me up in the morning. But I was busy. I was on phone calls all day long. So I'm like, let me call Bubba back. So I called Bubba, and while I'm on the phone with Bubba, it's fucking Pugsley. I'm like, what are the
Yeah, they're doing a
fucking shoot?
delivery right now.
Yeah,
Like
well,
a new
that's the whole
Sierra.
thing.
Yeah.
Bubba wanted an answer for something, and Pugsley's like, oh, I'll call that little fucker. And so he called me, but there was like 4 hours difference. And it just timed, so I called him back and shot the shit with it. Fuck, I've known Pugsley since he was 19 years old.
Wow. Wow. I
So,
think he's a couple years older than me. So.
oh, is he really? Okay.
Yeah, he's 52, 53, I think. I
No,
turned
no,
50 in September.
I'm 53. I think he's 50. I think I met him
Okay,
when
yeah.
I think I was 21, 21 or 22, and he was 19. He was running the point blank, and he had Luke Crenshaw working for him.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Wow.
bro. Listen,
Wow.
and I told him I want to get him on the podcast so he can tell his LA story. We were at Carlos and Charlie's in Cancun, and you know, it's Carlos and Charlie's during spring break.
Yeah.
We're out there and
Oh
we're
yeah.
talking to
Oh
some
yeah.
girls, and she goes, "Wow, your accent. Where are you from?" He goes, "Ma'am, I'm from LA." She goes, "LA? You don't sound like you're from California." He goes, "No, ma'am. LA, that's Lower Alabama."
Alabama. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
I
my
first
God, it
met
was
him when he was on
fucking
the
great.
Wild Eagle in Isla.
I remember when he was on the Wild
Yep.
Eagle.
Oh yeah. Those wild times, man. I
We
heard talk about spring break. I used to tell my buddies that aren't fishermen. I'm like, it's like, man, I've been to every freaking college spring break there is, and I never went to college.
I
That
went to
was
the fucking Snoop Dogg concert at fucking Cancun. We were on the JT when Shin was
oof.
running it. We anchored up. Oh, that was when Mike Brady fell out of the tower.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a long time
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. Yeah,
Same
that was a
story.
long fucking taco.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You were there on the real tide that year I was on the Sharkies, if I remember right.
Yeah. I was
Yep.
that was my we were on the 65. That was the year we broke the record on the sea trial when we caught
Yep.
120 sailfish.
Penny Real Earl. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the big
Yeah. Oh
nasty.
yeah. Yep. I think we had just left. I think we were in Cozumel when that was like late, wasn't it? Like April or May or something?
No,
You guys did
It
that?
was February 12th, 2001.
Oh, okay. February 12th.
It was Debbie Lambert's birthday. I didn't want to go fishing. She goes, "Come
That
on,
was
fly."
that was the next season because February '01 I was already in Los Sueños. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a year after.
She was said, "It's my birthday." I said, "Will you make me pancakes?" She goes, "Okay, I'll make you pancakes." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So we went. I was eating pancakes and drinking beer. It was me, Hottie, Vince Austin, and Neely Orange, the bad orange, not the good
Wow,
orange,
the
the
bad
bad
orange.
orange, the bad orange. That's how everybody fucking knows him as. You got
Next
his dad,
time you see Neely, call him Bill Lambier.
Bill Lambie. Oh my God.
Bill
Okay.
Lambier. Because
He,
he when he was working for what's her name? Uh,
Sandra.
yeah, Sandra, and they would be there in khaki and I was there with the
Oh, that's
Paleologos
right.
brothers.
She has the house and cat.
She has a house and cat. So we played a lot of basketball right there
Okay.
in khaki. The days it wasn't blowing, we had our things to keep us entertained, and one of them was basketball. And Neely is not a skilled basketball player, but man, he was a rough housing on the rebounds and throwing elbows. Like, dude, you're like Bill Lambier, man.
You sometimes that's all you can do. Somebody's got to do that guy.
Yeah. So I still see him. I still call him Lambier. I saw him in DR couple Decembers ago. I was like, oh my God, this is
I
great.
haven't seen him in a while. Every once in a while when I'm down in the DR, but I haven't been to DR. I think in like 4 years.
Yeah.
So I need to go back there.
What
And
a
I haven't been down there since I put that tournament on. I used to put the tournament in Casa de Campo.
yeah,
That
what a
was,
cool place.
oh my God, Casa de Campo is fucking phenomenal.
I'm looking at a cool picture of that right here and see if I can turn my camera there. And
In
that was
Casa
a
de
DR
Campo.
day. That
Oh,
was
that
a Capcana day.
were you on the boat when they caught the
Moving
30?
on me. No, that was the 4 Grand Slam day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm glad to see that they're flying flags again. I remember, like when I lived in Venezuela, we didn't fly flags. When I went to Mexico, we didn't fly flags. Like it's kind of nice.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Just
You can fly
remember we're
flags
doing
again.
the whole not turning them upside down for release. Remember in St.
Oh my
Thomas?
God! I was just talking to somebody the other day. So
We
that's
upside down. He's dead.
yeah. Well, that's the way I was taught in St. Thomas. You put them right side them up if they swam away. So my first year in Ocean City on Scott Steele's boat, we caught 2 blues and 4 whites. And
Wow.
this is before everybody had a fucking cell phone. We went
Right.
underneath the bridge, and I have all these flags flying right side up because that's the way I was taught in St. Thomas.
Yep.
And by the time we got back to the real inn, there was like fucking 12 people behind our boats. How dare you kill six marlin, this and that? And Scott's like, what the fuck are you guys talking
Yeah.
about? Look at your flags. What
Yeah.
do you mean? They swam away. Well, up here we do this. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Where I come from,
Oh,
this is how we do it,
I
man.
remember we had that June Moon tournament that they only had it for a handful of years, I think.
That was a cool
And we
tournament,
won it.
dude.
We won it with a 401, Alvarez and I.
Yeah.
And I got the picture of the upside down flag, with 401, whatever date in June that was. Yep.
That was a cool tournament back when you could fucking stroke them out.
Yeah. 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 There's a different feeling of sticking the steel into a fish for
You know
sure,
that
man.
you know that article I sent you yesterday. It was only because we were talking about old timers and things that we're losing out on, you know.
Yeah.
I had Charles Perry on, and the name of the article was The Last Assassin, which is perfect
Yeah.
because that motherfucker, he is an assassin, dude.
No, dude.
That is a fucking killer.
So a little backstory there. So CP worked on the Catch Me Out way before I worked on that boat, you know. And when I first got on there, there was a bait knife, and it was back when they were still wood handles,
Oh
not the plastic,
wow.
not the
Yeah.
black plastic. And it had his initial CP engraved into that. And the blade on this thing had been sharpened down. It was just like there was not much left of this knife, but it was still on the Catch Me Out. And I didn't know who Charles Perry was back then, but now obviously now I was like, damn, I wish I had that bait knife still.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
uh I remember when I first started getting into the industry, you'd read about them
Oh yeah.
and you're fucking 18 years old, 19 years old. Oh my God, Charles Perry catching world records in, you know, Ivory Coast and Australia and yada yada yada. And
Yeah.
what a cool dude, to be. I would practice wiring pretending I was Charles Perry, and now he's a fucking dear friend of mine. I mean, I get yelled at if I go to the Outer Banks and I don't call him up to stay at his house. Hey, I heard you were in Manio. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a meeting with the superintendent of schools. Yeah, but you didn't call me. Like, oh, fuck. Yes,
Right.
Charles. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever been to Manio and Wanchese with him. There's
No,
something
not with
told
him.
there's something totally different when you start going around that town with him. Mm, dude, it's like royalty. It really is.
Wow. Wow.
You're the guy that not only made it out of here, you made it out of here on such a high level,
Sure.
and you came
Yeah.
back. You still call it
Yeah.
home. And yeah, you don't wait in line anywhere. There's always a table ready.
I remember just watching videos of him leadering fish, and it was like he's smooth as silk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Smooth as silk, man. It
Yeah,
was impressive
unbelievable fisherman.
for
I
sure.
I remember it took almost an act of Congress to get him on the podcast because he didn't want to come on the podcast. And I'm like, Charles, I just want to have a conversation with you. And
Yeah.
uh, you let me fly. I don't think I could talk for 2 hours. And I'm like, you let me worry about that. You just let
Oh
me
yeah.
worry. Just get on and let's talk.
Sure.
Chip Schaefer was the same way. Chip,
Oh,
he avoided my call, and finally he calls me up. He goes, Fly. He goes, my days of telling people how I fish are over. Call the young guys. I'm like, Chip, I don't give a rat's ass on how you fish. I want to know why you fish. I want
it's an
people
education.
I want people to know why you fish. People need to know what you've done in the industry. To me, that's
Yeah.
important. To me, that was the whole reason of starting this podcast was guys like Chip and Charles and Peter Bristow. I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure we captured them on camera to talk about how they started because people see guys like us guys like Brett Gaskell, a lot of
Yeah,
these guys that these young kids are looking up to. But we wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for those guys.
100%. 100%. You know, you've heard me refer to Danny Bear. I don't know if you ever crossed
Yeah.
paths with him. He passed away, gosh, 2002, I think it was. He's been gone a good bit. But he was the guy that call it the classroom. So we both worked on the Catch Me Out together. He lived in Lighthouse Point. I lived in Miami. That boat, we went to Bimini, and for a couple of years, that was it. So the rest of the year, I was still being paid by them to maintain the boat, but I was freelancing whatever I could do, right?
Yeah.
But every morning, I would leave my house early to beat the 95 traffic, and I'd go right to Danny's house, and we'd sit down and have coffee together. And that's probably the most I ever learned about the Bimini Kaki giant bluefin fishing was those mornings having coffee. He
Yeah.
would break out this his logbook, and it was this little booklet that was held together by number 64 rubber bands. Right. I mean, every page was falling out of it. But he had it every year when he was mating for Joe Mott until he was running the bushwhacker. He had log of every day on that edge, what the wind was doing, what the conditions were, how many they saw, da 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 da, and he's the one who taught me that on certain wind conditions, this is how they do. This is how when they sink, they disappear on you. This is where they're going to pop back up. And on an east wind, they're going to tack offshore. Then they're going to sink, and you're going to think they're still going offshore. No, they went right back into the edge, and you should be right back on the inside edge of the alley, and that's where they're going to pop up. So I'm sitting here listening to this stuff, and I'm 20 something years old, and that was so valuable. So like this year, I mentioned JJ Slater. He was our drone guy. And like we're sitting there, and he's like, I'm like, all right, cloud come over me, and I lost him. He'd say, oh, I don't have him. I don't have him. And I'd be like on an outside tack. He's like, well, they should be here. Go look in there. And sure enough, he would, and that's where they'd be. And I would go, thank you, Danny Bear, because
Yeah.
I would have been lost, right? Little things like that. The wind always drops out on the tide change. That was another one, you know. And I remember fishing with Nick Paleologos, and we're up in the tower, and it was blowing 15 knots or so. Next thing you know, it's like down to 11 or 12. It's like wind's crapping out. I'm like, oh, it's probably just dropping out on the tide change. And he looked at me like I was speaking Chinese, right? He didn't believe me until his housekeeper in Kaki she would always go to the point there, the north end of Kaki at the Cutagunky, and catch her little tiny snappers, right?
Yeah.
That's what she did on her like lunch break or on her time off. And he happened to be like, I don't know, July or not tuna season. He drove the golf cart up there, and he's talking to her, and she's like, oh, the wind just dropped out on the tide change, right? He calls me. He's like, dude, I didn't believe you until she told me. I'm like, like it's little things like that you just remember and you pick up on, that, and you carry that for life. And it was a classroom education with old Dan Bear, for many years.
It's so funny because when you're in your 20s, you don't realize how important those stories are.
Oh,
You don't
yeah,
realize how important they are. And then when you get older, um, I don't, again, I'm 53 years old. So I look back and I think of the days that I spent with Jim Lambert or with Eddie or with Billy Bohr. Fuck, I spent 4 years with Billy Bohr, and
yeah,
Billy
yeah.
was, well, you want to talk about a fucking fisherman. Billy
Oh
was
man,
like
it's just
just
a good man. God, I love Billy. He
unbelievable.
was a great guy,
Oh,
man.
Billy was fucking great. And I wish I could have got him on here before he passed. Because some of my greatest memories were me and him picking on each other because he was a Red Sox fan and I was a Yankee fan, and uh,
Oh boy.
oh my God, it was fucking great, man.
Oh yeah.
I remember our apartment in Venezuela after the mudslides. There was
Oof.
only one TV in the house, and it was in his room. And somehow, no matter what, when the Yankees played the Red Sox, you'd get it on a Venezuelan channel.
Oh, the
And
big baseball country. Yeah.
man, I would get my little one of the folding duck chairs. I don't know what where they had the little cups, and cup holders, and I'd sit in his room and we'd fucking yell and scream at each other all fucking night long, man. It was great.
Yeah.
It was
I
great.
was just telling that whole story of because Rhett was fishing with me, and we were telling the other people that the mudslide story. That was
Oh,
I flew out, I think 48 hours before it came down.
yeah, I think I
Yeah,
flew out maybe 5 days before.
yeah, yeah. I was there. I
And
remember fishing with Cal Patty the last day he fished on the Courtesan, where he was trying to catch 300. We caught four that day, I believe, and and then it was pouring rain. And then I flew out 2 days later. I'm like sitting there sanding something on the catch me out. We were painting the boat again, and next thing you know, Cal Patty's behind the boat. I'm like, hey, I just, he's like, you hear what happened? I'm like, no. And he starts telling me how it all went down. And then that's I told Rhett he needs to write a book or something about that, podcast. There you
yeah,
go.
oh, I get Red on here. Yeah, let's get him on
Yeah.
to
I
talk
mean,
about
I
it.
mean that story and how they survived and how they kept the generator running. And I mean, that's just got the engine running on the travel lift. They get the Sharky's Revenge back on in the water. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
a story of coming together and getting everybody out of there safely.
yeah.
And it's to me, it's one of the most fascinating stories from our circle of friends in industry
Our
that they ever
washdown
went through.
boy, Jimmy Barreto, was the one that brought our boat out. It
Jimmy,
was,
he's here. Been living here in Costa Rica for 20
oh,
something years. Old Jimmy.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
I
man.
see him on
Yeah.
Facebook every once in a while. Jimmy brought,
Yeah.
it was, you want to talk about shitty situation. It was Jimmy, his wife, his kid, and his girlfriend.
That's awesome.
You
And
want
they
to
got
talk,
along probably during
you
the
want
trip.
to talk about brass fucking balls, man.
Bro. Wow, dude. That's goat move right there, dude.
Bro, get on the boat.
I
Who
was
the
like,
fuck
shut
is
up. Get
that?
on the boat.
Don't ask no questions. Get on the fucking boat. Oh
Yep. We're not
my
leaving her behind.
God. It's funny. I was just talking to a guy the other day. Somebody sent me a message on Instagram and said, hey Fly, been watching the podcast. Great job. Really enjoy it. Was wondering, I live in Curacao. I was wondering if you could put me on to some places I can buy tackle directly in Japan. Man, I don't give out my number to anybody anymore. I really don't.
Right.
It's
Right.
especially since the podcast been going on. There's just so many people, and something told me give the guy my number. I'm like, listen, Japan's a unique little thing. Call me. Let me help you out. So he calls me. We start shooting the shit back and forth. I'm like, listen, this is going to be your best bet, but it's it it's not as easy as go on this website and order whatever, hooks or moi moi.
Sure.
Because what they call it in the States is usually a different name than what they call it in Japan. So you're going to have to
Right.
do some research and cross-reference stuff. So we're going back and forth. And in the conversation, we started something. I said, listen, if there's anything I could ever do to help, let me know. He goes, man, if you can get Venezuela back open fishing again, I'd love to. And
Oof.
I let him know some of the things that I got going on. And he goes, oh, you lived in Venezuela? I said, yeah, I was there for 4 years. He goes, my dad used to own the marina called Casa Maruguilla. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So we sat there and talked another 20 minutes about the marina that his dad had, where the blank check used to stay, where Obie O'Brien used to stay. And I'm like, listen, man, if that place could talk, I'd probably be in jail. You
Oof,
know,
buddy.
if that
Oh yeah.
marina, if that marina could talk, I'd probably be in jail. But
Yeah.
I'm like, man, anything I could, yeah. So hopefully,
Small world, huh?
yeah, way small world that again, I didn't know who he was. I just, we started chatting and go figure. His dad owned that marina. He used to be down there as a little kid. And I used to party down there in my early 20s.
you know, I'm turning 50 in September, so like we're talking to some of these late 20s and early 30s guys. You know, they're like guys that were mating for us, whatever, and they never got to see that Venezuela.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of
What
people that
an
didn't get it. There's a lot of people that didn't get a chance to see it. Even guys
I
our
mean,
age.
what an amazing place, man! Wow.
I
I
get
mean,
asked in all of my travels, I always get asked, what's your favorite place to fish? I go, oh, hands down, Venezuela. Not even a close
yeah,
second. I don't have a close second. The two places, the second and the third, they're tied, and that's the Great Barrier Reef and Nova Scotia, Canada.
right.
Second and third, they're tied, but they're not
Yeah,
even fucking close to Venezuela.
yeah. No, it's probably Cape Verde is pretty damn nice, but what's nice about Venezuela is it's all light tackle stuff. You know, you never know if it's
Exactly.
going to be a white, a sail. You could have all three in the spread at the same time. You know, and then go, you know, daytime for your swordfish. People ask me where's your favorite place to fish. I always say Tuna Alley because it is. I mean,
No,
it's
that's
unique. But bill fishing, I mean,
uh,
Costa Rica's damn nice. Venezuela it was something
the
special about
the
it.
one thing about Costa Rica as I've gotten older is it's nice that it's calm, man.
Oh, it's calm, buddy. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, I can't lie. Them days
Oh
of blowing, you just know it's blowing. I mean, don't bother looking at the weather. I mean, when I lived down there,
oh yeah.
it's not like we had weather fucking forecast anyway. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't
Oh
have
yeah.
weather forecast. You know, there was no apps. It's gonna fucking blow. Just
Oh yeah.
get used
Yes.
to it.
That's how much, you know.
Yeah, it's
Like
you know
remember leaving Aruba, like how much is a palm tree bending over? If it's this way, we're not going. If it's just like that, we're going.
one of the hardest stomach punches in my life I've ever had about Aruba was the time that I found out it was the windsurfing capital of the world.
Yeah.
Wait a second, you have all your championships here? Oh, we have the greatest wind in the world. I'm like,
It blows there, man.
God,
Wow.
does it blow? And
It's
it's from Aruba right to the canal, right off Lake Maracaibo, is especially that time of year, January, February, and beginning of March. You get this system that just sits there and fucking blows for like 90 days. It
oh,
just sucks.
yeah.
Again, I've said it once and I'm going to say it 100 times, 1,000 times. When I started, I was 6'4", blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm fucking beat down and shriveled up like a fucking raisin, dude.
No, dude, the body takes a toll. Like, listen, yeah, it's nice here. It's flat, calm. You know, the seakeeper, this, and that, and the other. You know, and then like after 12 days of in the tower and all day and like, whew, man, it took me a
Yeah,
while to get to recover. My girl was like, "Hey, what's you just came back different? You're usually so happy." I'm like, I'm running on empty here. And it's like,
I'm beat.
I would have been right back in that tower day 13, 14, 15 if we still had the win. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but the recovery is not the same. I used to like Cozumel when we were young, man. You know, like go out all night drinking Carlos and Charlie's. You know, like come back, you're rigging bait in the clothes you're still wearing the night before,
Bro.
and you go fishing all day. You know, maybe catch a nap on the way in, which was very short, by the way. You know, and we're right back at it again, Carlos and Charlie's. Here we go. But we were
Yeah.
bulletproof back then. You know,
Not fuck,
now
man.
it's like I need my sleep. You know.
Now, if I stay up until 10:30, I'm fucking hungover in the morning.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
without
shit.
alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah.
no. I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
fucking listen, this is all for show, man. I haven't had a drink in fucking 18 years. Uh-uh. I can't
Wow.
I no. My body just it doesn't handle it like it used to. It
Yeah,
just
no,
doesn't.
same here. I mean, I'm not sober, but I don't drink like I used to. And during season, you know, everyone's here, and my house is like the dinner house. You know, during all the Costa Rica tournament, so it's just social hour. But up to the point now, where like if I drink more than 3 beers, I got heartburn for days now. It's
Oh,
like, oh, back then it was pitcher after pitcher, and
no shit.
body.
I woke up this morning with heartburn because I made fucking chicken parmesan last night. fucking red sauce, man, kills me.
Yeah, it's like your pill case. The first thing is the freaking like a omeprazole or whatever it is. The daily take, so you don't get it.
No
Then you
way.
forget it and you pay for it later. Yeah, what
Or
what
when you
what what we've become.
yeah, or when you first walk out of the car after you've been driving for 2 hours, it's like, oh, my girlfriend's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got to get the fucking lubrication going."
Here's another one going back to like the old days with mates today. How many
Ah,
boxes and boxes and boxes of 9175s we have to sharpen back into the
oh my
remember that?
God, these guys don't understand how good they got it.
Yeah. It's
Listen,
you pull it out of there, you smell it, and you
I,
just sit there
I
until
can't.
your fingers are bleeding.
The greatest thing I found was Cesar's son, Leo. Leo would sharpen and paint my hooks for $10 a box in Venezuela.
Oh, what money well spent.
Oh my, $10? 10
Yeah.
bucks. Now, number one is $10 back in the fucking
And that was
90s.
high
That was
back then.
high, dude.
That
And
was
especially
high.
he was Venezuelan, so he's just whatever he was, he's fucking 10 years old, 11 years old, but that's
He was probably
that's
putting food on the table with $10.
yeah, but Cesar was fucking probably one of the best deckhands out there. He worked for Cow Patty Dave for like 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So once I'm like his he Leo shows up to the boat and he gets his dad's the hook sharpened. I'm like, hey, what's this? He goes, oh, my son sharpens my hooks. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. I'm like, painted? And he's like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
hey
we'll paint
man,
the tips. Yeah.
yeah, because once you fucking take the galvanization off, you're fucked.
Yeah. So like, boats back in the 80s and 90s, you'd open up your hanging closet in the
Yeah.
stateroom. It was
And they
nothing
were,
but coat hangers and leaders and hooks.
bro, me and Randy would go down with fucking 1,000 hooks rigged
Yep.
to Venezuela.
Yep.
Anytime you're just sitting at the fucking house in St. Thomas, you're fucking sharpening hooks and
Yeah, oh yeah. It was. Remember, Sharky's Revenge hauled out at Whitaker's and Alvarez and I at the hotel room sharpening hooks at night. I was like, that's what we did. You
that's
know,
yeah,
and you
nowadays
better make
it's
sure you had a lot. Whatever's left over from Mexico, you use in Venezuela, but you better make sure you
yeah.
started with at least 1,000. You know,
Fuck, it was a lot. Now,
it's a lot.
yeah. Now it's
Yep.
it's it's a different thing. Oh, we pulled those out. They got salt air on it. Throw it away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, them
Yep.
circle hooks don't
Yep.
last very long. They touch salt air, they're fucked.
Yep.
So, and then now you got sonar and all this other stuff. That's a whole nother touchy subject. I get a lot of fucking calls on the sonar. A fucking lot. Actually, first time I ever fished on a boat with a sonar was with you when we went out to the Fads and Carmine.
How about that?
That
Wow,
was
that
the
was a long
first.
time ago. And that
Yeah,
was that was a CH 250. That was before omnidirectional
that
sonars.
that was the first time I fished on a boat when we were down there making videos with Christensen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Rich. Yeah, man.
yeah.
Good guy.
He's
Awesome
a
guy.
really, really good. I got a chance to. Oh, when I saw you at the Bisbee tournament.
At the Bisbee, yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's no longer doing the Triple Crown here in Los Sueños, but he's throttling back and which he just much needed.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
fuck.
been
He's got, what
traveling
is he,
and
67 now?
he's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Him and his
slow
wife
down.
Kelly, great people, man. I love having him on the boat. He's such a good guy,
He's
man.
a super guy. I had a great time with him when we shot all those videos.
That was fun, man. That was a
That
good time.
that was a good time. But that was a long time ago too. That was probably 10 years ago.
Ooh, yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
That's when I
Yeah.
first
Oh
started
yeah.
playing in the social media world, you
That's right.
know,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
now it's a constant developing. Everything changes. It's amazing. It's like fishing. It's no different. And I get so many people call me up. They're like, Fly, you've become so good at IT. I'm like, nah, man, if you can work a fucking Omni, you can do what I do. It ain't that fucking hard. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really not that. I am not, I got a business partner. He's in the IT space. And I always tease him all the time. I go, listen, man, you make the sausage. I just know how to cook it. That's it. I know how to cook the sausage. I don't know how to fucking make it. I don't know how it works. And I listen, there's a plenty of times, there's a reason why I put so much shit out there so I can figure out how it works. You don't get good at fishing by just reading about it. You got to go out there and fish a bunch of days,
Sure.
you know?
Absolutely.
So I put a bunch of shit out
Absolutely.
there and people laugh. And one of the greatest compliments I was ever given was by Tiny. He says, man, you put shit out there that I don't know how you do it. You don't care that nobody, that people laugh at you. I go, well, listen, there's times that it fucking hurts my feelings, but I want to learn. So if I gotta fucking get laughed at, trust me, before somebody else
Yeah.
fucking laughs at me, uh, I remember, fuck, there was one time, and I'm not gonna go into situation, and I don't want to break it down looking for excuses, but I had like 5 people call me up. I thought you were a better wireman than this. And I'm like, uh, okay. I put a video out and they
Right.
don't know the whole situation that was going on.
Sure. Sure.
And uh, I was set up I, purposely, I was set up for failure, and it's okay. It was funny and I don't give a shit, but I put it out there anyway. And it was enough people fucking started calling me and I'm like, wow, okay. But Tiny was the first one that said, hey man, you really don't care. I go, no, I really don't. Whatever. You fuck up. We all
Yeah.
miss fish.
Oh God. Absolutely.
Yeah, we all miss
Oh
fish.
yeah.
So I don't fucking shy away from it. I look like an idiot, but you know what? If I can get 2 million people to look at me and laugh, then I realize something about that people like. What is it? I don't know. I gotta
One
figure it
thing
out.
I've always loved about you is you really don't give a fuck, man. You'll tell a story no matter how bad it makes you look, man.
Yeah, I don't care. Fuck.
I'll never forget. I don't know if you've ever told this story on the podcast or not. When I first met you, we were talking, and you said the first time you were starting to work on boats, they go, "Hey, go get the spring line."
Oh my God. I fucking love that story. I still tell that fucking story.
I love that story.
Yeah.
They're looking for the spring.
Yeah, I go, hey, Cap. I go, I can't find any springs. All I got is fucking ropes. He goes, grab that fucking line and tie it from here to here and get the other one from there to there. I had no fucking clue. I don't, but
I still laughed. It's
But
such a
here's
great story, man.
but here's the thing. What people don't understand, and listen, I'm glad we're bringing this up here because on this for the overall podcast, not the clips, the overall podcast, my biggest demographic is 18 to 24.
About that.
And
Wow.
not even by a little bit. More than 50% of my audience is 18 to 24. 97% of them being male. And um my biggest thing, because everybody keeps talking about, and I'm sure you've heard it, where the kids nowadays don't work like we used to. And one of the issues that and I hope I can fix it or offer some clarification or just open up a world to these kids, especially young men. I have a very young men nowadays, and don't get me wrong, women also have a hard time, but the the generation of men that have been growing up, that's probably up until like 33 years old right now, they have lived through 33 years of, oh, it's toxic masculinity. No, man.
No, yeah.
You need to have masculinity.
Yeah.
You need to have somebody that's willing to
Yeah.
go out there and kill the woolly mammoth. You
Yeah.
need somebody to dig the holes. You need, and don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, that doesn't mean that you can't be uh, proper and respectful and all the other stuff, but it's not toxic masculinity. It's masculinity. As a man, one of the things that makes us feel good, it drives us, is the fact that we were put on this earth to protect and provide.
That's correct.
And that is what we're on here. There is nothing greater in this world than the magic that a woman can create a life. And while they're creating a life,
Amen.
they need the most protection possible. That's our fucking
Correct.
job. That is our
Yep.
job, to protect her so she can continue giving life. That is why women and children go on boats, lifeboats first. Because as long as the woman's protected, life can continue. And one of
Correct.
the things that I want to do with this podcast, not just with this podcast, but what I do in everyday life, is to let these young men know that little picture you see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Let's just go 3 months back. You guys won the Triple Crown.
Yep.
You have the picture, you have the trophy, you have all this, and they're like, man, that's what I want to do. You know, that took fucking 35,000 hours to get to that. That does
Yep.
not just fucking happen.
No. No.
That takes
Nope.
fucking hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of sharpening hooks, cutting leaders, changing oil, scrubbing toilets, changing bearings, polishing boats, you name it. Hours.
Yeah.
35,000, 60,000
Yeah.
hours.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah.
because of social media, everybody sees this little snapshot. And I say social media, I can't blame it on just social media because it's what people see. I want to do that. Well, you know
Sure.
what? When
Sure.
you want to do that, that does not start at the fucking top. I used to
Yeah.
do running gear work in between.
Yeah.
Bless his soul, John Del Castillo used to let me do running gear work on days that I wasn't fishing so I could make money. I would do running gear work and fucking sand and paint bottoms in
Yep.
between my fishing days so that I could go fishing. And until I got older, um, when it became okay, you have a name, you can get a full-time job. But in between then, some weeks you only got 2 days a week. Well, I needed more than that to live. So
Sure.
let's go change cutlass bearings. Let's pop off fucking propellers. And that is one of the reasons this is a great opportunity to tell those stories. You know, we
Sure.
go on here and we talk about, oh, all this cool shit and Freddie Potatoes and St.
Yeah.
Thomas and but even
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
even taking the boat from Aruba to the canal and then later on to Costa Rica, that's all the work that leads up to getting to
Sure.
Costa Rica and fishing these tournaments and winning. It takes a lot of work, and that doesn't just happen overnight. And
Correct.
it's our responsibility. And this is something I'll die on this fucking hill. We as a society love to complain about shit. Oh, kids don't work like they used to nowadays. People don't do that. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Come with a fucking solution.
Well,
Seriously.
I bring that up all the time. I got a 21-year-old and I
Oh
sit
my
there and
God,
I
is she
shake my head
21 already?
sometimes. Yeah, bro.
Bro,
Yep.
you're old.
Beautiful girl. I mean, yeah, yeah, almost as old as you. But it's like at her age, when I was her age, it was different, you know. And I sit there and I'll tell my girlfriend, God, he's like, man, at 17, I was already living on my own. At 18, I owned my first condo and I was making mortgage payments and blah, 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 going on. And here's, and don't get me wrong, I love having her here at home. And, it's just like, it's my little girl.
Yeah,
But it's like, hey, man, like
do something,
life is going to pass you by unless you get started.
bro.
And, and then my girl was like, oh, but it's different times. I'm like, no,
No,
life, this
life
earth
is
hasn't
life.
exploded and reformed again. No, it's life, and
Right?
we gotta teach them. It's
It
like, you know, you were talking about running gear. Some of the hardest non-pay work I ever did was working with Jimmy Lewis in Miami. Yeah, we would go catch goggle eyes and sell them, and then we would go and grind fiberglass on his other boat that he had, like running tours at Bayside, and go do this. And before we knew it, it was like 5 o'clock. Holy crap! Let's go home and maybe get a couple hours of sleep. And as
go
soon as it
goggle
was
eye
dark, we
fishing
were
again.
right back out there and go goggle eye fishing. And there was a lot. And believe me, it was worth every minute of that was worth it. Because I learned how to fiberglass, I learned how to grind, I learned how to do learn all these power tools. Not that I use them all day to day, but it was a learning experience. And
Exactly.
hey, I'll go buy you breakfast at Wagons West. And that's your pay for the day. You know,
Okay, but I get to
put
hang
my
out with
time
you.
in. Put my time in. you know,
Yeah.
and it all pays forward. You progress
You know, it's
in life.
funny. It's funny you say that because we were highlighting the sharing of the stories when you would drive up to Lighthouse Point about the
Yep.
fishing, but
Yeah.
it's also sitting underneath that boat grinding with Jimmy Lewis, and suddenly you're somewhere. Costa Rica,
Yeah.
Venezuela. Things have changed a little bit now because you got fucking Amazon Prime everywhere. Uh, listen, you know how many times I've been a fucking part mule? Hey man, you want to
Oh.
come fishing
Oh.
somewhere? Yeah. Go grab me this whatever. I'll have a plane ticket
Yep.
for you. Okay. I get to go fly down
Yep.
somewhere and go fishing for a week or 2 days or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. Exactly. I can't tell you how many parts I've carried. I just did it this weekend. Someone put on the group
Yeah.
chat, hey, I need a part for my transmission. I'm like, I'm in Miami. And I
I
carried it down for him. No
it's
problem.
one of the reasons why I don't ever post where I'm going. Because
Right.
I
I get it.
can't tell somebody no, but I'm literally flying everywhere constantly.
Yep.
And I've gotten to the point, except when I go to the Middle East, uh, I only take a carry-on bag anymore. I do not check luggage anymore. I can go to, last year I did Florida, Colombia, Japan, Westport, Washington, Westport, Croatia, back home with one carry-on.
Jesus. Wow.
I don't check luggage anymore. It's carry on only.
Yeah.
And if people knew, I'm not going to tell somebody no. Hey man, I really
Yeah.
need a
Yeah.
blank. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to
And that's a
do
good
it.
thing about like group chats, because you don't have to like I've been on Facebook and I don't know how long, I just got tired of reading whatever. Too many
Planes.
everything gets political now.
Yeah, I
So,
get it.
so I just stepped away. I got Instagram only, but we have our WhatsApp group chats and somebody posts on there, hey, anybody have this? And the Blue Water Brotherhood comes together and we help out however we can, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, no.
So
Listen, if somebody called me up and they really needed something, fuck. If somebody called me up right now, I'm in the dire need of blank. I'll go buy a ticket and I'll go. That's not the thing.
sure.
My thing is I'm just, I got these little tight time connections, and if somebody needs something in Croatia, I'm not going to carry it with me to Colombia, Japan, Washington, and then
Yeah.
get it to
Yeah.
Croatia.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Then you're
impossible.
scared of losing it halfway through the way.
Bro, you don't.
You're responsible for that part,
You're responsible for that fucking $2,000 or $10,000 set of injectors or
Yeah.
whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
flying,
Yeah. Oh, it
or
got damaged. Damn it.
yeah, no, now it's different. If somebody knows I'm coming down to Costa Rica to fish a tournament, hey, you coming down? Like, I forget who it was. Somebody had me bring a case of bait. I'm like, listen, you just meet me at the fucking airport, or you got somebody to pick me up that'll wait in line for this shit. I'm used to just grabbing my shit and being gone.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait in line for, you know,
I hate
luggage.
waiting in lines.
Here's the thing,
I
because
hate
there's no
waiting in
common
lines.
courtesy anymore. Listen, I'm going to stand
Yeah.
back here, and when my bag comes, I walk up and grab my bag. No, everybody wants to fucking stand in front of you. I'm like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
do you not
Boarding
fucking
an
see
airplane.
me? Do you not
You know,
fucking see me?
it's one of my pet peeves because I fly, maybe not as much as you, but I do fly a lot. And you're sitting there and the procedures. And it's like, okay, you're gonna get, the concierge key of military personnel and then group one, and they're like, guys, it's a number. And
Yeah.
you get up there and all the group eight people are like blocking the freaking entrance. Is like there's a boarding procedure here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. It's
Gate
like
lice. They call them gate lice.
gate lice. That's awesome.
Yeah, they just fucking lice up there. It's like, come on. And it's
Just
funny
come
when
on,
I first
man.
started dating Naomi, we've been dating now going on 11 years. She goes, why do you want to be the first one on the plane? You don't have luggage. You don't. I go, I do not want to hear people complain. I want to get in my seat, put my headphones
Yep.
on.
Yep.
Don't
Noise
talk to me.
cancellation. And yep. I'm
Don't
the
talk to
same
me.
way, man.
I do not want to talk to you because I hear, oh, my bag doesn't fit. Oh, why can't my, I don't know. Figure
Oh,
it out,
no, dude. Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
I'm
And
like,
and
sit
there's
down,
been,
shut the fuck up. Let's get out of here.
yeah, let's get out of here. And there's been times where, listen, if you fly enough, your flight's been delayed, canceled, blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blank. And
Yeah.
I try to always have enough time in my schedule. Hey, I really don't want to sit at the airport till we figure out what's going on the plane. Can you put me on tomorrow morning's flight? They're like, we're not going to give you a free hotel room. I go, did I fucking ask you for something free?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't ask
Yeah.
you for nothing
Exactly.
free. I just asked
Exactly.
you. I don't know when that plane. Listen, I just took a 14-hour flight. I don't want to sit here at the airport. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. I don't want to sit here until blank. I'll go get a hotel room. I'll go get a meal, wash my
Yep.
ass.
Yeah, oh, man, I'll tell you what.
Bro,
I'll tell you
again,
what.
I'm
You,
a hairy dude,
you,
man.
you travel a lot, like the Admirals Club and the showers is the best thing, man.
Oh,
I
exactly.
can't tell you how many times I've taken advantage of that, you know?
You have
And
to.
so,
Those are the nice things. That's why people are like, how do you really enjoy traveling? I go, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't.
yeah.
What bothers me is the people. The people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
not the people that work. It's the people that don't know how to travel and they're anxious and they're nervous and man, calm down. Just
Yeah.
it's an experience. Go have a cup of coffee, relax. Yeah, chill.
I've seen some people do some stuff on airplanes. It's like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Oh
Like,
my
just like,
gosh.
just like try to take over other people's seat and move in their personal stuff, you know, like that happened to me leaving Cape Verde. You know, like this one
Really?
dude who actually I had seen at the bar the night before and almost got into a fight with somebody, right? And now he's on the airplane with me the next day, and he like just goes and sits in what's his name? I forget his name, but it was one of the captain's wives was on the flight. And he starts like moving her purse and like putting it somewhere else, and then like, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? You know, I'm starting to talk to this guy. And then the flight crew gets involved. I thought we were gonna fight this guy, you know.
Oh my gosh. I
Andy Flood, that's who it was. It was his wife. And I'm like, do you know how big her husband is?
that's a big
this guy
motherfucker,
will
dude.
this guy will crush you with a squeeze of his hand, you know?
I,
I'm like,
I was
like
on a I was on a plane. I think I was flying to Argentina. I'm not 100% sure, but I was with Naomi and I wasn't sitting next to her because it didn't work out. So I was at the window. Somebody else was sitting in this aisle seat and she was sitting on the aisle in the center section. And this lady goes, "Excuse me, would you mind changing seats so I can sit next to my husband?" I go, "You see that woman right over there? I'm traveling with her and not sitting next to her.
yeah.
So that's a no." I go, "Fuck yeah, that's a no." You have a book
Right?
your fucking ticket earlier. I get it.
I've had that situation. Most of the times I change unless it's like the front row. Like I'm tall and I want to stretch my legs out, you know, in the front row
Yeah.
and in first class, you got the bulkhead there and you can't stretch out. You can't have your backpack, you know, in front of you under the seat. So I'm like usually, but usually like the wife will ask and like you look kind of happy over there without you.
Oh, oh my God, there was one time
Most of the times I get a chuckle out of the guy, you know.
I was
And when the
flying,
guy asks, he's like, "You still like her after so many years?"
I want to say it was from Hagera to Cairo. And I'm sitting in my seat next to my window, like row 8. Some guy's in the middle. He goes, "Hey man, would you mind changing with my wife?" And I'm like, "Where's your wife?" And he goes, "Honey, stand up." And he goes back there and I look and she's like, I'm in row 8. She's like in row 34. I go, "No." And
Yeah,
I went back, put my
ain't
shit
happening,
back
bro.
on. It ain't gonna fucking happen, bro.
It ain't gonna happen, dude. There's a
No.
reason why we fly a lot. We get those extra seats, extra space seats. You know, like
Yeah,
yeah,
I
oh yeah,
I yeah, I listen,
yeah.
I sit in certain seats for a reason because I know, and again, I can't believe we're going to go back to me being old or us being old. I know on certain flights, I want that seat so I can get up and take a piss if I need to.
Oh, dude, big time. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I can't.
Oh yeah.
Listen, and as it is,
3 hours or less, I'm good at the window, but after that, I want to be near the aisle. Yeah,
I can make it a 4 hour flight. I can. But
yeah,
I literally have to prepare for it, meaning I have to stop drinking water 2 hours before. By the time you land, you're 2 liters into it.
Yeah,
because you're
yeah,
so
yeah.
fucking dehydrated, you're borderline fucking headache. But I don't want to get up in the middle of flight.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, yeah, I want, and then even when I know I'm going to be a long flight, I try to get one where somebody's not going to wake me up because they got to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna, especially those long ones, I try to plan long enough in advance that no, I want that bulkhead seat, aisle, and close to the bathroom. I don't give a shit if people are
yeah,
there. I
yeah,
go to the
yeah,
bathroom,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But yeah, no, I'm a cranky little fucker when I get on them fucking flights. I actually had a run-in with a guy in Miami a couple of months ago when I was flying to Doha. Uh, I pulled up first to get on the plane, and there was another guy there. And this guy literally kind of jumped in between us. I'm like, what the fuck? So I kind of edged over, cut him off. Then he moved and he edged over again. So I kind of edged back over. Listen, I don't care where you stand, but don't be thinking you're going to cut me. And he keeps hitting my back. And I'm on the phone with Naomi, and I'm like, I'm about ready to go off here. I'm about ready. She goes, please just be calm. Don't get arrested. Don't. I'm like, I'm not going to get arrested.
Yeah, I don't want to get arrested on an airplane.
So he hit me last time. It was third time. I'm like, hey man, what the fuck is your problem? Can you take a step back? Well, it's not me. It's your bag that keeps hitting me. I go, why are you so close that you can hit my fucking bag? One
Right,
step back. We're all going on the fucking plane together.
right.
I mean, what the fuck? So
Yeah,
yeah, I have no problem. I'll throw, not that I'll throw down, but I'll fucking tell you if I got a problem, man.
sure.
I don't give
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shit.
The scrapping days are long over.
Yeah, no, I'm not physically. No. I don't even. Some lady, some lady
That'd be
cut me
another
off.
hour on the podcast.
Yeah, some lady cut me off once, and I said something, and her husband says, "Excuse me, that's my wife. You're talking. Well, get her under fucking control. I've been standing here for fucking 45 minutes, and she tells me she didn't see me. Come on."
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway, I know
yeah.
you got to get to work. Um, how if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you? If they want to pick up your brain on anything, what's the best way?
So you can give him my number, my
No,
email.
no, no,
I
don't put
really
your
don't.
number on here. Don't ever put your number on any of this shit.
Yeah, I
You
thought
could
you
you
were asking like if there was
no,
somebody
no,
you
no,
knew.
no.
Yeah,
In general, like what's your Instagram page that if somebody wants to follow you?
T T Carrizosa is my Instagram.
Okay,
I don't have Facebook anymore. I've been a
okay.
better man without it. Maybe I'll have to jump on one day because you do miss a lot of things about life. Not
It's good to
when you're
keep an eye
past.
on your friends. That's why I like it. I mainly do it so I can see my friends and their kids. And truth be told,
Yeah,
I like their kids more than I like my friends. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. I just lost one of my childhood buddies last week. That's why I was in Miami, and I was like, I wish I would have kept in touch, and because I was
yeah,
the one that left.
yeah.
Everybody else kind of stayed together in Miami and all that, and I was like, damn, if
So,
I'd have been on Facebook, I'd have
yeah, you would have
probably,
known something was going on,
yeah, exactly, exactly. So
and
yeah, T Carazos on Instagram. Yep.
at
At
our
our
age,
age,
you got to
man,
pay
I mean,
attention. Yeah, pay attention,
you
man.
go through. Remember back before we had these things, and everything,
Yeah.
your whole life on them. You had actually had to write people's names down and their phone number, and you'd write them in pencil because they would change their numbers. You're going to erase. I still have that, and
Oh,
I go
wow.
through it, and I'm like, they're dead, they're dead, they're dead,
I go
they're dead.
through
It's
my
like,
phone. I don't get rid of numbers, but the reason why I don't because I just want to remember them.
yeah,
If as you're
yeah,
scrolling through and you see somebody's
yeah,
number, it takes
yeah,
you, you just gave them a moment, and I'm happy with that. I'm not going to pick
yeah.
up the
Oh
phone and
yeah,
call that number, but it just okay, yeah.
yeah.
So
That happened to me recently. It was pretty funny. One of my dearest friends in the world passed away in an accident, and I still have his number in my favorites, right? And so I just because every time I see his name, a memory,
yeah,
something, right?
exactly.
So and I went to like the WhatsApp so I could like see some of our old messages, and then I see that there's a new profile picture, and I was like, John Sabonis. And well, his new number is now some really pretty woman's number, right? So I click, I was like, damn, John, you got reincarnated pretty hot.
My man. Call me back. Call me back.
Call me, please.
Hey, John, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while. This is no longer John's number. This is, I'm
sorry.
Nobody heard that.
So
I didn't say any of that.
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly.
Tony,
Anyhow.
Hold on right there. Don't hang up. Let me just say goodbye to you and thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us the stories of all the stuff you, hopefully this is the beginning of a cool new cycle over the next 20 years.
Man, I hope so, and Chris is older than me, and I told him, hey, if I go before you, please spare my ashes in Tuna Alley, buddy. That's how much I love that place.
There you go. Listen, at least you have one place. I got like 12 people. I want them to sprinkle my ashes in different places.
I can believe that. I mean, there's some could go over here. I've had a career here in this place too, but my heart's over there.
No, I get it. Listen, my heart, I don't know if there's a body of water, my heart's there. This industry has treated me so fucking well. So
same here. Look at the people we've come across, and
I know
how special they are. It's the Galati family and the Healy family in my case.
Carmine still fucking owes me a podcast, and I'm saying that out loud.
You know what? Yeah. Call him out.
You know what? The reason why I don't want him to tell me about. I want him. What I want to. It's for those 18-year-old boys that are listening. Look at this. That's why I want him on here. Sure. I don't give a shit about what you guys. He's like, oh, talk to Pat, talk to Tony. They can tell you about winning. I'm like, I don't want to talk about winning shit, man. I want you to tell what it's like to struggle and fucking grind.
I mean, he's a guy that, like, I call Carmine, a lot. We talk on the phone. We're friends, and he's that guy that I call, hey, buddy, personal thing. What do you think of this? Like, he's such a wealth of knowledge and such a good man, I mean, wow.
Him and Pat Healy did me a solid once on business. I don't even know if they remember it. They did me such a solid. Those guys could fucking call me up to pick them up from an airport in Istanbul, and I'd jump on a plane and fucking drive the taxi myself. That's how much of a solid. And it was one of those itty bitty little. It was a phone call. That's all it was.
Yeah. And all it takes.
Yeah. And for that,
I remember being sick with COVID, and Pat Healy called me every day. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. What you gotta do, buddy? You gotta take the freaking Advil, and you gotta back it up with a little freaking Tylenol, buddy. He's Dr. Healy, dude. Yeah. He's Dr. Pat. He's Pat Cantori. I remember sitting there one day behind his house in Palm Beach. It was just his wife, Leanne, himself, and I, and he's going on this about. I was like, God damn, Pat. And he's like, you got to realize your initials are PJH, not PhD. And Leanne about fell out of the chair laughing.
He's so funny. When I was fishing with, Bubba Carter a few weeks ago, he says, oh no, everybody calls him left flat Pat. He doesn't move. He doesn't leave from the left flat.
Nope.
So,
he sure doesn't.
And it's funny because when I fish with my Saudi friends, I'm on the left flat. I fucking pee. There's a couple of times I'm talking to some of the guys, and then I walk away and grab the hose, and they're like, "You were peeing while I was talking to you?" I'm like, "Yeah." What? He's like, "You don't like go back?" No, I gotta fucking pee. I whip it out. I pee, and then I need the hose to. What? He goes, "Yeah." But you were talking to me. I go, "What? You don't know how to talk while you pee?" I could listen. Me? I could fucking talk doing anything, dude.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me let you get to work. Right. Hold up right there. Guys, gals that are listening, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys joining me. If you have any questions for Tony, reach out to him on Instagram. If you want to know anything about Costa Rica, he's pretty fucking good on that too. We didn't even get a chance to go into depth about that. So everybody, thank you so much, and we will check you guys later.